this is like both a in character, out of character kind of session. We'll think of it as, because like it was going to be a training thing, or like like after the big fight and how dramatic everything was, Clint has seen how your team like put up a good fight, but like you have to deal with some. You basically got ambushed by two very high level military cyborgs that are pretending to be cops, more or less. Like you're dealing with, these are like they're military, basically. They're military grade. You are police, and even though you're superhuman, these things are not meant to. They're built to kill, not built to thrill, not built to spill.
Built to kill brutally, might I add.
Yes. And seeing that you guys like dealt with that in your team, Clint has like said like, okay, guys, let's like, let's hit the gym. Except not, don't hit Jim.
Oh.
Oh, we haven't met him yet. We're okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He can take it. He's a god now.
It's true.
It means nothing. Punches mean nothing.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine just a bunch of merfolk just trying to beat up Jim, and he's just wearing his armor. Okay, kids, knock it off.
Aww.
I don't want to have to put you in timeout.
What is timeout?
The Dungeon of Sidonium or something.
Just the void.
Just the void.
No, I like the Dungeon of Sidonia, except all the little robots like bother you constantly.
What? There's little robots in there?
Well, not robot, little junk.
Like the trash golems.
The trash golems, yeah.
Balls.
It's like a haunted house ride, but trash golems bother you instead of animatronics.
Correct.
That could be just as creepy. Nah, cuter.
For the sake of keeping these rolling sessions interesting, I will add one. I will call it surprise or unstable factor to the city rolls today, and I will let you guys, whoever calls it off first, decide what it is.
I love faction rolls.
It should be like whoever the most comes out on top of the city rolls, the faction rolls, should have to like fight one other random person like Joni or Santigold or something.
I kind of like the Joni idea. Like, she's just moving and shaking and doing her own thing. Plus, that would give us a reason to go, like, talk to her and be like, yo, what are you doing?
You know what? We'll just say it's the combination of the two of them. Both Joni and Santigold. There he is. He's beautiful. He's gorgeous. What I'll basically do is ask, but you should all now technically be an owner of the Stella Maurice character sheet, which means you can click and roll things. Just saying, I will ask you what is a conflict that you feel like could happen or would happen based on like previous kind of like ideas you might have had or seen, or how factions interact, that sort of thing. And as a complication, I may add either Santigold or Joni to the conflict. An example would be, you think the cops should crack down on this or that. The Mafia, the Daganites. That sort of thing. You want Dorbo Group to like beat up the Mr. Clan or the Valentine Clan. Or maybe you want Sidonia to just fight everybody.
There you go. That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Sidonia's been keeping to themselves. So's Cure.
It's true. I'll start down the list real quick and just ask you. If you don't have any ideas, don't worry about it. But I'm going down the list, the Discord list. I'm starting with you, Blue. You're looking at two factions on the Stella Maurice sheet. Is there any kind of like conflict you think might be interesting for the story, or just to see how it resolves with dice or anything?
Dorbo and Cure Clan, aren't they at odds?
Yes, they are. Oh God.
How?
With gusto. They both rolled the same result.
Oh yeah, they did. Maybe they were both going after the same thing and failed at it.
Yeah, you know what? We'll say that's the resolution they're going after. What is it that they're going after? Do you think like a bioweapon thing, or like just some kind of medical
sort
thing?
Of biological thing in some lab.
Yeah. I mean, why not like some new bio armor or something like some Guyver piece of tech? And
I feel like they both do cursed things. So, like, Cure Clan would be like, I need this to fix my, I don't know, vampirism, and Doro would be like, I need to get rid of this, it's cursed, or use it. So.
Okay, if you look at the sheet, I have added a concept so that I don't forget it. Cursed bio armor currently at large.
Oh no!
Somewhere in the city, there's cursed bio armor that neither side could acquire. Dorba wanted it because it was cursed. Your clan wanted it because it was bio armor. And now there's cursed bio armor.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
I kind of love it.
That is an aspect of the city now. So at some point, I'm going to figure out a good way to get these like city aspects involved in the roles. But like it could happen at any time, I suppose. But yeah, good call. Dorbo versus Cure Clan. Claudia, what are two factions do you think would maybe have some action? It doesn't always have to be fighting, of course.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say like I feel like the Mafia might actually like. Let me check the sheet real quick. It's not open. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like I just feel like the Mafia would try to get some inside guys on the police, really, or like
Oh, okay.
yeah. I just feel like they would try to buy off some police officers.
Oh, classic.
Yeah, let's see how that. Ooh,
Oh my god, Mafia.
holy shit!
Oh my god, they've infiltrated so hard.
At some point in the station, um, you notice there's like maybe one or two guys that are like very stylishly dressed and are posing like kind of just around at the coffee machine, or they're just eating a donut but in a very weird way, like they're just kind of like posed with like their ass sticking out a little and their arm crooked and like maybe one arm behind their head as they're like eating in very elaborate like voguing, yeah. Who's a stand? Yeah, you notice these guys, they're kind of weird. But they just like pretend that they're just like normal cops supposedly, and they do have records. But they're currently
This kind of explains a lot. Like, why do we have this branch of the police station all of a sudden?
so that's another aspect between police and mafia. I'm adding there's two stylish cops in the precinct. And we'll move down to Ice Peak. Ice Peak, what is the thing that you think should occur?
Oh, I just want to see more about like the Sidonians and that race thing that is supposed to happen.
The race?
Yeah. Maybe Poppy goes to one of the races or something. I don't know. Oh no! All the rolls are terrible today.
Yeah, except the Mafias. Oh my
What?
god, and
Who's Demolition?
is that the race?
Sorry, that was Santigold.
Oh!
Oh.
So Sidonia enters one of its samurai into the races. This guy's cruising down the track. When suddenly he just runs his vehicle right into Santigold, who's just standing there, and the vehicle completely crumples, destroying it. The driver is ejected violently, but today he has not gained glory. Instead, it seems that he has made a powerful enemy as he scraped Santigold's chest with this vehicle. There's a scratch. Santigold turns and begins to march towards the unseated knight, and a new fear begins as Santigold just stalks towards his next opponent there at the track. Poor Sidonia. They attempted to have their banner raised in the city, but this effort seems to be it's currently stymied by Santigold. Oh well, they'll be fine. Probably.
I mean, I guess we did need a Joni or Santigold to pop in, huh?
Yep. And it has happened. So we'll just keep that in mind. Sidonia currently hasn't made a foothold. Santigold, you would read news reports about this. Like eventually they convinced him to leave the track, like with, kind of just complimenting him until he felt his ego was satisfied and he walked away without beating anyone else up. But they mentioned that their security forces simply couldn't do anything to him.
Okay. Hey, does Joni work with the Mr. Clan? She did mention them.
She works with the Speedwagon Foundation, who are kind of like the basis for the Mr. Clan, so probably.
Okay.
Well, it is your turn. Is that what you want to happen?
Well, I don't know Joni yet, so I don't really know what she'd be gunning after. But so because of that, I'm not gonna use that for my turn. Let's
Okay.
see. Wonder what the Daggonites would be up to these days. I feel like the thing in the park would have caught their interest, you know?
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
But who would they get all rustled up with as a result of that? Would it be the police or would it be... Yeah, I guess...
Probably the police or Poppy.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna say police and Daggonites have a roll-off.
Oof. So yes, there is like pushback amongst the Dagonites. I'll add this aspect. City tension is gonna turn to high, or that's the threat level right now, because the recent news of that attack that you guys thwarted has kind of put the Merman community in like a bit of a like not quite a revolt, but there are protests currently happening um, as people are beginning to question like what it is the police are doing. There is social unrest, and Dagonites are moving in and out of those crowds to try and like foment more violent protest where they can. So they've attempted to provoke the overrun of like police positions at some of these protests, like try to get people to um, you know start more violence and push the cops towards more violence. Instead, in this instance, the police have maintained like the line without like escalating, which I know it's a fantasy game, but they don't. They don't escalate to unnecessary levels of violence, but there is like this even though the Dagonites are pushing them to do it, and even though the cops are not currently bashing their head in, there is a feeling amongst the Merman community currently that they are just waiting for the right moment to like sweep through the trench and like cause whole lot of trouble. So for now, the Dagonites lose actually a little bit of influence. They lose 1 point to their roll. Um, that is the result of that. Like they're not reaching as actually. You know what? No, they keep their 3 because the unrest is actually like also leading more people to like they just the word of Dagon, the endless tide that is to come. That will sweep away all of this evil on the land and put it to sea. Where fish will pull it to pieces, and shrimp will pick the remains clean. So,
Cheery.
yeah, no, it's a good. If come on.
That's how you take advantage of that sort of, yeah.
Yes. All right, John Towner. Any conflict you'd like to see as we move towards wrapping this up?
Not particularly. Do any of you have ideas?
We'll just look at the clans that haven't gone yet, I guess.
Valentine and Jaguar. And Mr.
How about
And Poppy.
Jaguar? I don't know what to tell them to do though. I just like that clan.
Well,
Okay.
I feel like they would be interested in capitalizing on the Dagonites being at... Well, I don't know. It depends on... Yeah.
I do feel like they could be at odds with Valentine, like, pretty easily.
Oh, all the time. Super. That's
Yeah.
like default. But they did have like a tussle with them last time and lost.
Could be they feel emboldened. Who knows?
Valentine versus Jaguar again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like it. Holy
Yo.
God.
Oh,
Ooh, round 2 is a lot different.
His appearance has been foretold. His blade heavy, one that brings destruction. The Jaguar clan has added to its ranks in Stella Maris the samurai Corrido Zopilote, the bastard child of a decorated soldier, raised in the heart of some of the worst jungle conflicts in that region of the world. He has come up as a key cornerstone in the Jaguar clan, and he has brought his fury to Stella Maris as tensions rise, and there is news on the wind of all sorts of strange events, changes, and potential opportunities for those who can seize power here. He has come to conquer.
Wonder what brings them here. Little Stella Maris.
Last roll, Mikey.
Yeah, I was gonna say I guess the only person that really hasn't gone now is the Valentine clan making their own moves. That would probably get in the Mafia's way since they kind of do shady stuff and kind of run the underground together, but not peacefully, clearly.
Okay. Oof.
Just barely. It's just a slap fight.
As the Mafia and the Valentine clan are attempting to work out a joint heist that they are interested in doing for terms of for the purposes of insurance fraud. Valentine clan representing a certain client that wouldn't mind having certain things stolen so they can collect the insurance money on an asset that may not be a big seller in Guam. And the Mafia just being able to get this stuff off island and to a buyer. As they are planning this and carrying out the operation, a junior detective is currently or is hiding in the rafters, just staring at them. And then she feels herself start to slip and reflexively goes to slap the rafter that she's holding on to, causing it to actually devalue, become cheap, and then crash down onto the supplies that they all have laid out on this table, all this technology. The resulting destruction, first of all, causes all the samurai that are present there, the 2 or 3 of them, we'll say, to step back and draw their blades, and the Mafia to pull their guns. Joni, seeing this happen, realizes that the situation is far more dangerous than she had been led to believe. Begins to try to hang and like pull herself away from this situation as best she can, like as if she were on like the monkey bars at recess. But as she is going, she eventually loses. We'll see if she does lose her grip. Passive difficulty 3. Yep, she does. She falls down. Right on top of a Mafia member with a Tommy gun, modified, like really souped up, like weird sphere throwing Tommy gun who just starts spraying these explosive bolts everywhere, causing a fight to break out. Luckily, no one is really killed despite the amount of gunfire and sword play that happens. And Joni manages to climb out, like just kind of on her hands and knees, like gets away as the destruction's happening behind her, and there's an explosion. And you just can hear her, and as a viewer, just say, "Junior detective, junior detective, mystery solved." There you go. That's what happens in that. Joni solves the mystery of the possible insurance fraud. And that is your results for this week.
Good.
So when last we left, this was what you were dealing with.
For the record, if this was an actual like manga, I do think Abel as a Joe Bro for Joni would be really cool. Too bad he's really chaotic, and I don't think hangs around to any one place.
It's just going to be a younger, more muscular Abel who calls himself Abel Jr.
Where'd you come from, Abel Jr.?
Nowhere. It's just Abel.
I was gonna say, yeah, that implies that Abel can somehow reproduce. Doesn't matter how, and that's terrifying.
Just split.
What, by mitosis?
Yes.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
All right. What we talked about last week was like the idea of squad roles and like kind of stuff you guys can work on for your characters. Which is stuff like for Mikey, it seems to be like kind of maybe a spotter type role or sniper even. we'll just put spotter and sniper and under sniper. Just we understand what it is. I know they're two different roles.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need a spotter because he's got super sluggy eyes. So. But beyond that, I guess we can go one by one and sort of figure out what it is that a character may want to do to focus on for like squad training, as this session will cover like roughly a few weeks, or at least 2 weeks, of kind of just working cases as you normally do, and then training here whenever you can, with additional time provided by the chief. The place where you will be training will be the Westwood Compound. It's located in one of the more nice neighborhoods of Stella Maris. It's called a compound, but at the upper level, it just kind of looks like an ideal, like maybe a bit modern house. Clint has invited you guys here, and it's likely you've been here before, just at least on the upper floor in his backyard, when he's held like parties, like he had his cheese tasting party, for example. You just know there's really 3 things to know about Clint's house. Everything is nice and pretty orderly. He keeps it very clean. There are some good sound systems in it, but he plays everything at a very reasonable level. One would say he's considerate about his music, although he does like quite a bit of it. And another is that there is a basement area that actually seems quite large, but if you've ever been in it for any reason, you would know that there are parts of it that are like locked away behind steel shutters and armored walls. It seems kind of a little overkill, and if anyone were to ever ask him, he would just tell them that he's got a shooting range that he has installed into his basement. This is the Westwood Compound. You've likely never heard any reports of gunfire in this area. I would say that's very likely that it's not a common thing to happen around here. But we'll say this right now, where we're at is taking place towards like the end of the day, so you guys all have the ability to like, come to Clint's house. I mean, he invited everyone there, but he also said, this is where the training will happen here, not at the station. The reason for that is, aside from the fact that he's got the facility to kind of like, handle some of the stronger, training that some of you got, like, it'd be hard for Towner to even dent some of these walls as reinforcement. He could do it probably if he just, kept wailing on it, but it's built tough. So, and plus there aren't any weird, turncoats keeping an eye on what you're doing, plotting against you here. At least one would hope. Another thing to know about Clint is he lives alone. There's a picture of his 2 daughters that he keeps in frames. They just look like pretty nice girls, teenage when the pictures were taken. There is a we'll say an ornament of a dragon made of metal that is also on the table, and it has 2 rings hanging from each one of its horns. And I would say that the decor is mostly like white with some off-white shades, and the carpet being a nice steel gray kind of like look. So it's just kind of like, it almost looks like a weird, almost monotone type house. But that isn't to say it isn't stylish. It's just there isn't a whole lot of flair of color here.
Sort of wanted to like hint at asking about his wife, but I don't know. It seemed really insensitive. But Claudia had like a really nice idea of asking like, oh, did your wife like pick out the shade on the walls?
Yeah, if you're just there kind of like looking around this house and you ask that question, he would respond with, no, not really. She was more of a fan of darker colors, I guess. More, I guess, greens, occasional blues, that sort of thing. She liked a lot of browns, too. Very earthy stuff. It's kind of neat, I suppose. Could probably stand to add a little bit of color here and there, but I'm just so busy all the time. Every time I sit down to think about it, I remember I got something else I got to do.
No, all the uniform coloring it suits you. It's fine. This works. And it's very pleasant looking. I see that was all just you now.
He tucks his like finger under his chin and kind of like nods as you talk. Oh, so you're saying like I'm a pretty? He looks around. Pretty vanilla guy, I guess.
Vanilla? No, it's just you're. There's something to be said about minimalism, you know?
So I'm a minimal vanilla. I'm a vanilla guy. Oh boy, that's a tongue twister.
Enya starts sweating and looking around really nervously. She doesn't seem to know how to pull herself out of this. No, those are both positive qualities to have, though. That means that you're closer to sort of a monk lifestyle with your mindset. That's really good.
A monk. So I'm a small vanilla monk. All right.
She turns to a wall and just kind of like resigns herself, just hangs her head like, I give up.
I don't know. I guess I take it as kind of a compliment. Everyone likes vanilla. Monks are peaceful. And being small just means you don't hit your head on as many doorways. So
She spins around. Yeah, see, there you go. They're attempts to compliment your place. I'm just not doing very well at it.
plus, he kind of like holds his hands up. If I was a little monk, then I could just drink a little half of like a glass of beer or something instead of the big full size one. So I'd save on money big time. There's upsides to this. I'm seeing it.
She just gives him a thumbs up.
Well, with all that out of the way, you guys came here because you're ready to train, and I'm ready to help. Whatever it is that you think you can do in a squad, I'll be right here to help instruct you with the years of experience I have working with the recruits of the police force. I'll have you know, I'm a part-time, occasional instructor at the police academy here in Guam. That means that I've helped to train officers from every city on the island, including those that work on the coast, which would include, obviously, mermen. So there's nothing you can show me, absolutely nothing you can show me that'll shock me. He pauses. There are probably a few things you can show me that'll shock me, actually. I mean, if I had to guess. Are you bailing out? You feeling too tired? Towner?
Yeah, I might be.
Okay, can I just say what Towner would be doing? Because I'm thinking about that.
Yes, absolutely.
I was thinking like a heavy, either heavy weapons or, heavy weapons or demolitionist maybe. But basically, so that we can say that Towner's in the back just pumping iron like a maniac.
Yeah, okay.
Eating gold when he can.
Yeah, absolutely. Do any of you like have your heart set on that roll just in case so I don't steal it?
Nope.
No, we need a breacher, and nothing is better than
That's
a
different than a
king
breacher, though.
Oh,
There's
is it?
nothing better than a
Yep.
shark just pushing its way through a door.
Yeah, that was what I was
Yeah.
thinking was the
Knock, knock.
You want to be a
Brand.
breacher? Okay, yeah, we'll just work on that. You have to, you'll just be in a corner headbutting and denting a wall
Oh,
and
Are
eating
you
a handful
sure?
of gold dust. I don't know. We'll figure. No, it'll be a little bit more involved in that. But yeah, we'll just assume Connor's working on that, and I will. Let me add to your sheet real quick that you were breacher in training.
yes, exactly. Shark comes through the door.
Okay, it's on your sheet now as an aspect. It's just something to keep in mind. You can even invoke it like you would any other aspect. All right. So yeah, we'll have Towner. Towner is going to be training on that. Your monumental case hasn't been durable for a while, so it's now question mark. Let's move on to Ice Peak. Ice Peak.
Yeah.
What did you feel? Hey, so I posted the squad roles earlier to the general channel. So yeah, you have that conversation with Clint, I guess, who kind of reviews what he knows about you, and then immediately digs through some of his belongings to hand you what looks like a very modern-looking vest with various components and pouches. He says, "Here you go. I think this will suit you just fine. the straps can be adjusted because you're kind of a little bit taller than probably the last person wearing this. But, you're also, he kind of like scratches his nose. Like your body is eels, so I don't really know how sizes work for you.
What is inside the vest? She also noted she looks kind of uncomfortable in this bright white place.
Ah, good question. Inside the vest, you'll find a variety of different items, such as steel wire, suture needles, first aid spray, healing goop, as I like to call it. But it's really just a salve that's based off of more modern medicine that's used by the military. Um, Anti-burn medications, various, yeah, basically everything you need.
She reaches into her body and like pulls out an entire medical kit and opens it and starts like comparing what's in the pouches to what's in her medical kit.
On some things, not as good. On some things, better than what you're currently using.
Yeah, she starts like adding it to the medical. I do not think I will need the vest. I often have to become many things.
He kind of just stares at you quietly. Really? You don't need the vest?
I will use the components of the vest.
But you don't need the vest.
What is it a specific? What is no? Each one would hold inside of my body.
Well,
is the vest somehow special?
Well, no, I guess it's not. I just he holds his hand out. I kind of like agonized over which item you might be interested in. I figured the vest was right up your alley, but if you don't like the vest, I'll just take it back. I'm sure they would use it at the academy. It's a pretty handy vest. It's got speed attachments, and you can kind of quickly hook and unhook pouches onto it. And it's just a neat vest. I don't. He just like holds his hand out. He's trying not to. You can roll a gaze. Oh, with a 1. You can tell he's a little disappointed.
Oh, she kind of moves the vest away from his hands.
He keeps reaching forward.
You see, I have how do you understand that I have many hands? Well, mouths, technically.
Right. Yeah. No, it's not a problem. You can just hand me back the vest. He reaches forward, trying to grab the vest from you. Just go ahead. I'll just take that off your hands.
Well, I do need some of the components. They're quite useful, and I would like to. Please let me take what I need.
Sure, you go ahead and take what you need, and just give me the vest back. He just reaches towards it even closer.
I have eels like squirm out into the pockets and start taking what I don't have. So now there's little eels in each one of the pockets of the vest.
Sure. So eventually he gets the vest back, I guess.
Yes, sorry.
He holds the vest and looks down at it. I just thought it was a really neat vest.
I suppose I could wear it under my coat, but you see, I don't. She like adjusts her tie, looking uncomfortable.
He just turns his back to you and slowly walks away, holding the vest.
I thank you for your.
He stops for a moment to look back over his shoulder. What? Do you want the vest?
I think I will take the vest.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure I could use it.
Okay. He walks back towards you slowly with the vest and begins holding it out to you also slowly. Here you go.
I take
one vest.
I very awkwardly take the vest.
Okay, you take the vest. Do you, now that you're holding the vest, give me another gaze roll. When you look down at the vest, you can see that this is an item that was made, there's a tag on it. This belonged to, apparently something called ELO Lunar Defense Forces. 2080. It's an old vest that's seen battle. It's got like tears in it, but they've been mended. This is not just like your typical like military gear. This looks like it was actually very high quality when it was produced, likely very high quality compared to what you've seen on Earth. The stitches that have been put into the vest to repair it and the mending, the replacement of certain plates and hooks are expertly and very carefully chosen. Whoever worked on this spent a lot of time when they could have just bought a new one. But for some reason, they liked this one. There's no name or identifying information on the vest other than that you are holding it, and it is an artifact of the moon.
I think this will give me ease of access, she says as she starts to put the vest into her body.
Okay. When you wear the vest, you feel somehow more capable, or if you, yeah, wearing it in your body, but as it's making contact, you feel more capable of protecting the lives of others. Just inherently, it's a quality of the vest itself. Just having it on makes you feel more secure that you can save lives.
She finds it comforting, but still looks very awkward.
He gives you a thumbs up. Great. Keep that baby safe, huh? Or else I'll have to repair it again.
May I ask where you got this?
Oh, yeah, I got it off of a trader. And it was in pretty bad condition, but it was kind of I guess, a military artifact or something. Well, I just was immediately taken with it. I figured I'd just hang it on a wall somewhere, but as you can see, he kind of motions around the room. I don't really have a whole lot of collectibles, just a few portraits, a little bit of art. So I'm not really a guy to just hang up war stuff besides. So I decided to make it repairable and use it in academy training and such. I was hoping that somebody would pick it up as a sort of basis for their own designs, but some of the work that was done apparently on that vest is not something that they can replicate here on Earth. So the methods that were used to produce that vest, I suppose, lost to time. As far as I know, it is an artifact from the only military conflict on the moon in recorded history, I believe.
Fascinating.
Oh, but don't let that stop you from wearing it when you're doing your duty. I figure it's more of like a, it's like a cool, like in Lord of the Rings, when Dumbledore gives that kid the metal coat or the hat.
I have not read such things.
Well, it's been a while since I've seen that movie, so I think I might be getting the names wrong. I think it's when they stop that marshmallow thing from taking over New York. He scratches his head.
Oh, I have also not watched such things.
Marshmallow?
Yeah, Chevy Chase was in it.
Who's Chevy Chase?
He like takes a moment and pauses and just like puts his finger to his head and then taps his head a few times. No, it was Mithril. They gave the Hobbit Mithril. Lord of the Rings, the sheep. It was like protective. This is a protective vest. The marshmallows weren't involved, and that has nothing to do with the vest.
I thank you for the mithril.
No problem. We'll be doing some training on medical stuff pretty soon here. I have some dummies that simulate injuries that normally I just use for, don't think this to be like too cruel or wicked, but target practice to simulate both giving and treating gun wounds. They're very realistic ballistics dummies. They even sort of smell like people, but don't be fooled. They're not people. They're not clones or anything. It's just very, very realistic practical effects.
I would not be fooled.
He reaches behind himself, and reaches into a cabinet, and then takes out a bloody human head and holds it up. Really?
She takes the head from him and like very calmly starts to inspect it.
As you're inspecting it, Clint is also like his face is darkening a little. Yeah, looks like the real thing, huh? Could be the real thing.
I do I roll multi-surgery or
Yeah, roll multi-surgery. Ooh. Was this a roll to inspect it?
yeah?
Yeah, as you're inspecting it, you swear this is a real human head.
It is very realistic.
That's right. Got it myself. It's a very realistic human head.
Where?
He leans forward. Yeah, his face is darkening as he leans forward. Well, at the medical dummy store, of course. A lot of dummies there. He slowly reaches towards the head again. Look at this. And he starts pulling on the hair and yanking the head around. Realistic scout.
This is a little disturbing, Clint.
He starts poking it in the eye. Realistic eyeball squish.
Please don't.
He puts his fingers up its nose. It even has realistic mucus.
I didn't need to know this.
And then he reaches behind himself and takes out a hammer. Here, hold it still for a second.
Clint, please.
Nope, hold the head still.
I think just holds the head still.
Clint, why?
He smashes the skull with a hammer as you're holding it. The skull shatters into fragments as you would expect bone to, revealing pink brain matter, and dirtying his carpet a little. He reaches slowly into the brain, like pan, or just the skull, and like removes a small piece of brain, and then puts it into his mouth and starts chewing.
Clint, please stop.
Then he blows a bubble. It's gum. Yep, the whole thing just looks like a whole real human head, but it's just filled with gum and various edible fluids. I believe blood tastes a bit like cherry mixed with apple. The skin has a very slight
What?
watermelony flavor.
How would you know that?
Oh, it's a completely edible ballistics dummy. 100% biodegradable. And it's even safe for animals to eat.
I didn't need to know any of this.
What's the matter? He reaches into the cabinet again and then takes out a second head and holds it up to you, Claudia. Too real for you?
She just like, she holds her hands up, backs away a little. I'm good. I don't need to see.
The hair tastes like black licorice.
She backs up away even more. I didn't need to know that.
Hold on, let me get you another one. He reaches into the cabinet and then takes out a replica of his own head with the same expression that he's currently like wearing. Here we go. This one I had custom made for Halloween, but I kept it around because it's so fun.
Is there a bathroom nearby? Because she's probably gonna run into it and just start vomiting.
Yeah, I'm sure there is, and you could absolutely run into it and start throwing up. As he hears those noises, Clint slowly turns his head towards you, Icepeak, and starts making the jaw move up and down to talk for him like a dummy. Guess I went a little far. And then he tosses the head to you, just kind of like gently, but he tosses it to you.
I catch it and just like put it under my other arm because I have both of them, and I shrug and say, "That is all right. Normal bodies are also biodegradable and edible."
It's true.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, all right. Very good. He gives you a minor salute. Be putting you on medical training with those, no problem.
I have more than basic medical training, but I suppose for speed and accuracy.
and for while you're under fire, tactical medical applications, being able to operate under pressure, time constraints, removing bullets in the middle of a battle, things like that. You never know what you might need to do, resuscitating someone who's passed out in the middle of a fire, that sort of thing.
I think
On
you
the
will.
spot emergency trauma work.
I think you will find me quite efficient in such things.
I look forward to it.
I have practical experience.
He nods. Good. I mean, that's what your record says, and that's I've only seen professionalism when you're in the station, so I expect big things. Ice Peak's going to go ahead and add that to your sheet, by the way, that you're I guess tactical medic in training. It's like with a label squad role. Let's move on to Mikey. Mikey, we have a pretty good idea of what you're going to be doing.
Yeah,
So
pretty much I designed him to already be what role he wants to be.
As you are in the basement with Clint, he opens a hidden door in one of the armored walls, and kind of like leads you into a booth kind of area, a side compartment that he taps a button on, and you can see a plate slides away and reveals a rack of different rifles and different sizes. How familiar are you with military technology? Weapons in general, would you say Mikey
Military tech,
is?
probably not as well. I mean, I'm sure he knows like the standard issue items around the precinct.
Right on. So this is not like some of the stuff you probably maybe have seen some of these rifles around the precinct that are being used by tactical teams. Some of these are definitely not. And one of them in particular looks like it's got a very strange configuration. It almost looks like a piece of art more than a rifle. It's got a long, hollowed out, like a skeletal body frame almost. Still has a barrel. Still has a visible trigger, but it has no scope. It has no additional tactical anything. It's got holds ammunition, and I mean, if you were to look at this and not see it next to these rifles, you'd probably wonder if it's even a weapon. He takes that one out and kind of like tosses it up and down in one hand. It's either quite light or he is very strong.
Yeah, like Mikey's head is kind of going up and down with the gun, and just goes, "What do you got there? That looks mighty fancy." And
This here, he kind of stops tossing it and then holds it still. It's a skeletal rifle, sort of prototype design that was handled by the military here on Earth quite a while ago. Apparently, it was meant to be hooked into cybernetic rigging near the shoulder. Has various gas redistribution and force diminishing mechanisms inside of this frame. He just kind of like looks, like holds it, and like turns around as he's looking it over. He starts to kind of like pull it apart, like piece by piece off of the frame to disassemble it into like several what look like just metal sticks, until he just puts them down on a counter in front of a shooting range, like looking down it. There we go. All in all, this thing is made of approximately 21 pieces. It's also made to be quickly 3D printed on the field. So if you ever need a new one, making another one shouldn't be a problem.
oh, wow, that's handy. Like Mikey's like inching closer, like his head, like his neck and head are kind of extended out farther as he gets a little closer, and is just slowly, like piece by piece, just detailing, like going over everything with his eyes.
Yep, this was made to basically be, like I said, mounted onto various kind of cybernetic attachments that soldiers would wear. But it was also, he kind of like taps, he lifts it's almost a briefcase-sized machine, and then puts it down. It even has a handle on the counter next to it. This is the printer. So, what you end up having is a printable gun, and this thing, as long as you keep spooling it, will print you out another one pretty quick. You just have to assemble it by hand, which you can do fairly quickly, I imagine, since you are, a merman. I imagine you've got more manual dexterity than I do. Let me show you how it works. He slams his fist down on top of the case, hitting a giant button, and it starts to just spit out metal pipes. As as they're emerging, he's just collecting them one by one, like from the air, and just slowly putting this thing together, like just piece by piece as it gets printed out. It looks like very smooth action. His assembly of it is really quick, and then he kind of puts it down next to the pieces of the first one that he had out. What do you think?
I mean, looking at it, I would say it belongs more in a a fancy museum than out on the range. I'm not sure how I would fire it.
That's easy. Let me show you. He picks it up and then loads a single round into it and holds it out with one hand and just fires down the range with it. He's barely looking down the sights of this thing, and you see the target further down the range, one of those human ballistic dummies that he was talking about, gets nailed right in the wrist. Actually, the hand just dangles off. See that?
Wow, that was a nice shot.
Yep. Oh, got 6 more rounds. He loads 6 more bullets into it and just aims at the target dummy down the range. And this time he isn't looking at it. And he starts firing, and you see one by one the fingers of the hand fall off, like individually. And then finally the last pop hits the dummy in the just right in the center of the forehead. Then he puts the rifle down. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know
Well,
what else to say. It's just it's yes. It's a definitive yes.
Important to point out a couple things about this. The recoil, basically non-existent. The weight, this thing weighs as much as an umbrella. Like, basically, this is one of the fanciest lightweight guns you're ever going to find anywhere. And the fact that it was made to be used by cyborgs means that, it probably usually isn't going to be that useful for human soldiers, the way that they have to aim. I mean, it is handy for a few things, and I guess you could take it hunting, but basically, this is the right gun for you, I think. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Take a while with it. See how you feel.
I thank you, Clint. He'll walk over and I guess take the gun and the printer briefcase, and he'll set himself up down at the field.
Okay. He sees you doing this. He's like, "Oh, hold on. Let me make sure that the mood is right. Mood lighting is like very, very important, extremely important."
Okay.
He turns down the lights, and then like smoke starts to rise up from the ground from fog machines, and dummies begin to like run out left to right, like kind of mechanical motions. Like it looks like they're machine assisted, but they begin running around, and some of them are holding fake guns as they're pointing them at you down the range. And some of them are pointing them at smaller dummies that they're holding, like, and they've got in a chokehold and they have a gun to their head. They're all just running back and forth. There's just a random assortment of different like goons and various situations. All of them being guided by hooks and machines. There you go. Go ahead. You not only have to make sure that you're shooting the targets where they need to be hit, but you also have to be sniping in the right situation. That means taking out targets before they can do harm, and sometimes it means disabling them if you have the potential to do so. Normally, police officers are not really taught to do this with guns, but you're more than a normal cop, so I think that you have the capability to do that if you want. Plus, you'll need to do it for the, cyborgs that you're fighting.
Yeah, those guys are no joke. Okay, yeah, no, this is fine. And he's kind of, now that he's got the rifle in his one hand, he's kind of like feeling the weight of it, like getting used to just holding it, and like he's got the briefcase in his other hand. Yeah, no, okay, we can do this. Yeah, it's fine. All right, let's go.
Okay,
Whenever I'm ready.
he pulls like a string, and then rain begins to pour down on your head.
But yeah, I guess as the sprinklers are kicked on, Mikey will just go, um, I, I'm guessing do you have wind fans or
Yeah,
okay.
he turns them on. There's like violent wind blowing by through you through the targeting arena, the range. Oh yeah, one more thing. He goes into a side room and then takes out a small puppy. Here you go. He just puts the small puppy down beside you.
I what am
This
I
is this
am
is
I
a
supposed
very nervous puppy. How small is the puppy? Say it's about a month old. It's just a small, shaking, nervous ball.
am I supposed to hold this? What am I supposed to
He just walks away. Good
Clint,
luck.
Clint, where
The targets are moving even quicker than before. The small puppy is shaking and looking at you with great fear in its eyes. We'll say it's a small poodle, a very tiny poodle.
Okay. So other than the elements, the weather that has now been added to this room, and the now robots coming at me,
Mm-hmm.
has anything else changed in the room?
There is one particular dummy that seems to be kind of blinking back and forth in a strangely stylish pose. Changes poses as it like moves quickly. It's flitting extremely fast in between targets. You notice that it has a knife in hand. It's just it's flitting around. Yeah, and it's also wearing very stylistic clothes, of course. Um, you have that target. Apparently, they're all marked when you if you look down, kind of like the range at them. You can see like there's little point indicators above them. That one's worth like we'll say 1,000 points. The rest are usually worth 10, with like the occasional 100. But yeah, it's a very high speed dummy that's moving. Even your eyes have trouble following how quickly this thing is being moved around. It's like practically blinking. Yes, it looks like that picture Ice Cream.
Oh no!
It's very scared.
I searched up 1 month old poodle puppy, and this is the first one I found.
It just looks like a tiny fried chicken.
Yep. Okay. This may not sound like it's gonna make sense initially, but I promise you it will. Mikey's gonna take off the aqua jacket that he wears over his like non uniform like button up shirt. He's gonna undo the buttons real quick and then tie the shirt off in front of him to make like basically like a sling, and then put the jacket on over that. Scoop the puppy up and put it. It's basically just gonna be like laying on his
Okay.
chest, so it's sitting there.
So with it on his chest, he's got to aim properly.
Yes. So he's got the dog with him now.
Okay.
Puppy secure.
Behind you, you hear the sound of dogs barking and fire roaring, and you even feel the heat go up a little. But it's all just special effects. There's like a heating vent blowing on you.
Okay.
And like speakers that are just playing dog sounds. So the dog is getting a little frantic, and the situation is feeling very tense. In fact, give me it's a good roll. Give me a slick roll. The situation is stressful, and you feel like for a moment you could have taken a little bit of soul stress, but you passed the roll. So you're fine for now. Also, you can knock off your perforated condition.
Okay.
The dummies, are you? So give me a for this. Give me a gaze roll. Okay, so as you're trying to track that flashing around dummy, you like barely catch a view of how it's moving and sort of begin to see the motions that it's like taking, but it just the moment you feel like you're locked onto it, it just zips away. And then you see one of the other dummies' heads fly off as this thing appears on the other side holding its knife out like it's just done like a slash, like a samurai. The dummy like slowly tilts its head towards you and begins to flap open its jaw, like, you know, robotically. It just says ha 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 ha. Next is Puppy, and then its eyes flare red.
Okay.
The training has begun.
Yeah. Yeah, I will. Mikey will start running. And since I move especially fast, so we are inside. This is a like.
It's a complete it's a
Okay.
closed off, armored walls, everything.
Perfect. Mikey's gonna run and towards whatever the closest wall is, and just start climbing it, and get probably maybe 20, 30 feet up, and attempt to take a shot.
First roll a slick against the two. Okay, you managed to avoid this. Several small, and you can tell when they hit the walls, they're just powder paintballs. They just go pff, when they land, leaving small amounts of paint before. Yeah, they're just harmless. They don't even leave a dent. Just little puff balls. But the dummies are firing them at you. You have the position that you're seeking, though. Give me what you're basically trying to do is get a good angle on this thing, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to line up almost like the perfect shot to take on this thing and put myself in as advantageous a spot as possible. So I'm going up.
Okay. Give me a. Do you want to take a shot? What do you want to take a shot at? One of the normal dummies, one of the more enhanced ones, or the quote unquote who is the stand user dummy?
I guess for right now, since they have now started shooting at me, I would like to start taking out those ones. And once I guess kind of thin those numbers down, I'll take a shot at the stand user.
Okay. Give me we'll say give me a slick roll again. Okay. So as you're going to shoot at those guys, the rounds that you fire are fired, true, but you don't hear impact and you don't see impact on the dummies. What you see is a differently colored dummy standing in front of the one that was flashing around, rising up slowly with its fingers holding bullets. It's just holding them. It caught them, snatched them out of midair. It's plainly featured, just looks like a mannequin, but it's just holding them. And then the original dummy that was holding the knife just like runs its hands through its like dummy hair and says, yada, yada. And then begins to like walk towards you dramatically. As the camera starts to like, you know, menacing symbols begin to appear around the dummy as it and the second shadowy dummy floating behind it, still holding the bullets, are basically they're approaching you. We will resolve what happens to that, I think, after we get to the other characters. But yeah, for the moment, yes, you're protecting this puppy. It's raining. People are firing paintball pellets at you. You're protecting this puppy, and now there is apparently a stand mannequin walking towards you. You gotta keep that puppy safe. You gotta keep that puppy. It's very dramatic. Yeah. So the only thing that people upstairs see, the only thing they see is Clint just like walking upstairs and closing the door, and then just being like, "All right, I think he'll do okay in there." And then he
Meanwhile, Mikey just but in his head.
Yeah,
he
right.
doesn't want to stress out the puppy.
Just one of the dummies is just riding around in a circle under you on a motorcycle, popping a wheelie. Yes, for now, let's move on to Blue. After he's closed the door, Clint will just approach you, and then kind of like, you know, stand there for a moment, What do you do as you're standing there? I guess I should ask, do you try to look cool? Do you try to look tough?
She's probably like trying to look cool and lit a cigarette while you were out there with
Inside of his house?
Nah.
No, do it. Fuck it.
I mean, okay, sure.
He sees that he sees that you've lit a cigarette and just stares at you for a moment. You can see he's visibly sweating.
Is everything okay, Clint?
Yeah. He's fixated on the cigarette. If I could, he slowly reaches towards it. Slowly reaching towards it. I just maybe.
She's just gonna sigh and put it out.
He breathes a sigh of relief. Ah, jeez. Smoking's a bad habit, but that's mostly for us humans. I'm sure you are fine with that. I don't really know how it works.
Yeah. It's fine, Clint.
As you're talking, he's just slowly wiping down the wall with a white rag. Yep. Well, you know, I guess if this house was like a lung, then that smoke just kind of sometimes stains the walls. He starts wiping more furiously.
Okay, I won't smoke in your house anymore, Clint.
Yeah, that'd be great. You could probably just smoke outside. Probably like, he kind of like eyeballs the outside of the house and then points down the street towards a corner. Yeah, like right over there is the smoking area. Good. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, hold on a second. He reaches into a cabinet and then takes out a no smoking sign and then slowly and very patiently puts it on the wall and hangs it just right and makes sure that it's straight. Here we go. Sorry, I forgot to put that out, but he points to it. No smoking.
Blue just kind of like loud chuckles under her breath.
I guess you're a pretty cool cucumber when it comes to doing tactical stuff, right? Like, what kind of role do you see yourself in?
Well, I was thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, either investigator or I looked through this list and saw empty hand specialists.
Oh, which one? So investigation or empty hand specialist?
Yeah. What did you have any like?
No, I didn't have anything. It's really up to what you guys want.
I see her as like being really into investigation. But for like out when they're dealing with stuff, I like the empty hand specialist thing.
Let's see what Claudia wants to do, because she kind of, I think, has some martial arts stuff. But for you, we'll say that you get you can get some of the general like hand-to-hand training. Clint actually practices that with people like personally. I'll say for now, we can just put her on investigator training.
Okay.
I guess so.
That's the best.
Clint will lead you down to another side room separate from the shooting range. It is just a clean room, white room with a clock on a table, a few paintings kind of different people. They look like they are like kind of stock photography style, generic, and a green telephone, old, connected to the wall. A bunch of like other little knickknacks that are around. Once he has led you to it, he kind of like, motions for you to enter. Okay, now this is an escape room. And then he just closes the door and you hear a lock. And then a timer appears on the wall counting down from 1 hour. That's it. There was no explanation. You are trapped in an escape room. It's just a table with like a clock on it, green telephone, bunch of knickknacks sort of here and there. We'll say on a dresser, a light switch, a I will say it's a good random thing to have in an escape room. I guess like an exposed section of the wall that has pipe that you can see, that sort of thing. Like it looks like a normal room. Everything looks like very staged though. It's almost like a movie set or something.
And you said there are a couple of portraits?
Yeah, a couple portraits on the wall.
Okay, she's gonna think she's gonna look at the portraits first.
Okay. There's a portrait of a man, there's a portrait of a man with a family, and there's a portrait of just a child standing and staring and pointing at the perspective of the viewer.
A very thorough look at the one with the kid pointing.
Okay. The closer you look at the one with the kid pointing, the more you realize the little arm and hand is actually third dimensional and is sticking out of the painting. So it's like almost like a little doll arm that's attached to a painting. It was difficult to tell from the perspective.
She's going to, I mean, look closer at the arm itself. Like, does it seem human? Like,
Yes.
alive?
And it quickly reaches out and pokes you in the eye.
Okay, she flinches and kind of steps back. Can she lift the painting off of the wall?
Yes. Behind the painting, it looks like there is a safe.
And the arm? What's the arm doing?
The arm is moving kind of like up and down now that you've taken the painting off the wall.
She's going to gently set the painting down on the floor and look at what the safe entails.
The amount of you've seen sort of this model before. It's used by professional holding companies. It's quite elaborate, quite secure, and combinations tend to be really there's just very long sequences. This particular model, we'll say that you're familiar with it, has 301 different like little clicks, nooks on the wheel, little markings, meaning the numbers can go from like 0 to 301 left or right. And all those little different variations are so minuscule, you can't even hear the click when you turn it.
Check out the knickknacks on the dresser.
Sure. There is a police badge, a throwing star, a small needle and thread, a toy fire truck, and what looks like a half-eaten sandwich. You'll also notice that through one of the vents, it looks like silver tape is blowing in the breeze, like attached to the vent. It almost looks like it looks like foil or tinsel almost.
Can she take like the cover off of the vent?
Sure, but as you move closer to it to get the cover off, give me a roll against a 6. Give me a hard-boiled roll. You can fate point that if you'd like to invoke, but the tinsel that's blowing on the breeze has lengthened and cut you. Like it is a blade. And if you don't invoke anything, you take 6 physical stress from this.
Oh no. I guess I'll invoke Gritty Detective.
Okay. Feel free to blow every single fate point you have on this. If you do, you'll avoid all stress. But if you blow 1, you'll take 4 stress. So you can handle that.
Okay. So do I roll again if I do that?
You can if you want. You can roll again if you want to. Yeah, if you can either roll again or add 2 to your result. Either one. I guess I would suggest rolling again. You got 2 negatives and 2 blanks. A 4, much better. So you take 2 physical stress as the blades attempt to kind of like basically like they would have taken off maybe one of your arms. It looks like they just whip by you very quickly and whip at you furiously for a moment as if blown out by like a almost tornado force wind. They curl out, try to slice at you, maybe only get a small bit of flesh that'll just recover in time. You'll just regenerate it, and then they retract quickly into the vent and just kind of swirl there almost hypnotically. This is no average trap, and Clint did not mention anything about a lethal measure in this room. As far as he just said escape room.
Where is the vent in relation to?
It looks like a very tight squeeze, that vent. Like it doesn't look like you can get an arm in there maybe, but it's very long and flat basically. You could always light it up to see what's inside there.
yes, I should do that.
Okay. When you light it up, you see a face looking out at you, wearing an eye patch with very long hair. Once you flash that light at it, you hear it kind of go, "Ah!" and then quickly retreat backwards into the darkness, and then slap the ground, and then scurry back up another elbow turn of the vent.
If he comes back, I guess she'll light up again.
You have 1 hour to get out of here.
Yeah.
And there seems to be someone that is attacking you, but you're not sure. 1 hour, that's the timer.
Yeah.
We'll cut away from that to get to Claudia real quick, because Claudia is going to sleep. So once Clint's taking care of that, he just closes another door and goes, "Heh, yep, that'll be fun. Escape rooms are a lot of fun." And then he walks back upstairs to address you, Claudia. All right, what can we set you up with? Okay, Clint just gently picks up Claudia and puts her down on the sofa and pulls a blanket over her because she's sleepy.
She had a child emergency. She had to go home.
Oh.
One
All
of
right,
them,
yeah,
I don't
we'll
know.
say that.
Need a squeaky toy.
Yeah. I think the last person, I'm going to assume Claudia fell asleep. Last person is Enya. Enya, what role do you see yourself having in this like tactical team?
Clint's asking her.
Yeah, Clint goes to you because Claudia will say had to, or Claudia could be. Claudia's likely going to do empty-handed, I would assume, but we'll ask. We'll just generally assume she's training on something.
Well, Clint, I want to be able to apprehend suspects without using brute force. I'd like a little more finesse in how to handle and understandably upset suspects.
So negotiation training?
No, could you teach me like a sleeper hold or maybe some drills on how to disarm a suspect at close range?
Okay, sure. I think I can probably help you out with that, but for that one, you're probably going to want to train with me personally. I hope you don't mind.
Well, no, of course not. You're kind of an ideal target to practice with, honestly.
I'm ideal? He looks around. Like, are you saying I fit the profile of your average criminal?
Well, no, but if you're like a big target, I don't have to be as easy, you know?
Okay, fair enough. I've got a small gym area here on the first floor. Just use that. I mostly use it to do aerobics, calisthenics, and a little stretching. I even started to do yoga. You might remember, but I'm still an amateur. I'd like to think so anyway. Although they did tell me I could probably teach a class at some point. I think that I'm just kind of a hobbyist yoga guy.
Well, if there's anything that you would recommend other than that.
That seems fine to me. Definitely important to be able to take down targets hand to hand without doing damage to them. So go ahead, get suited up, and I will also do so. And he just smiles and nods and leaves. And then the area he pointed you to was like somewhere off of the dining area. It is like a nice gym with padded flooring. It's a small home gym, kind of almost like a home dojo or something. He kind of shows up eventually in training gear. He is covered head to toe in padded armor and head guard. Like, it looks like he overdid it a little. Okay. Well, I know you all are pretty strong, so I had to take a little extra precaution here. But I'm sure you'll be fine. Go easy on me, Officer Orinoco.
She looks a little flustered.
I didn't think I was... I don't see myself as someone that manhandles people.
Oh, it's fine. What kind of hold do you want to practice?
Oh, well, I would like to start with that sleeper hold, actually.
Okay. He kind of turns his back towards you and is just, all right, just put your arm around the neck here and then secure it with your other arm, at the wrist, and then just kind of press against this, kind of artery right here on the neck. and you'll be able to put a perpetrator out pretty quick. Give it a try, but not too hard.
Well, yeah, okay. Alright, so I do this, and I put this here. Hey,
Okay.
just tap out if, like, you start to feel, you know.
I'll be fine.
Okay, so it's like this?
Give me a Give me a suppress roll. Ooh, a 2. You are not able to catch hold of him fast enough as Clint passes out.
Oh, man.
He just crumples to the ground.
She's just gonna shake him.
Hey, Clint. You're supposed to tap out. Come on. Like, Clint.
What? He shakes his head. Oh, sorry. I must have slipped. He stands up again. Go ahead and practice it again.
Well, I mean, okay, maybe one more time.
Okay. Give me another suppress roll. Okay, this time you do catch him as he passes out.
Okay, I think I already got the handle of this. I'll probably practice it a couple more times if you don't mind, but...
He's just limply dangling as you're talking to him.
How about some, close-range gun disarming?
Do you wake him up? Gotta wake him up.
She's just nudging him and, yeah, shaking him.
Hey!
All right, yeah, he wakes up. Yeah, no problem. Gun disarming? Sure thing. I got just the technique. He takes out a wooden gun. Here we go. Yeah, had this ready. And he takes out a wooden knife. Got this too. Ooh, they look like the real thing. Sorry, I've got spots in my vision for some reason. He kind of like staggers back and forth a little. Whoa. No. Okay.
Well, you don't need to sit down, right?
No, I'm fine. I'm 100%. Come on, go ahead and so you're gonna try to get the gun off of me. He holds tight onto the wooden gun. It's just a very silly carved wooden gun, blocky even.
Yeah, I guess I would just go about it like this.
And she just very, like, directly just grabs for his wrist.
Okay, you grabbed for his wrist and you hear crunching sounds. Ah!
Oh, hey, oh, no, I didn't mean to. Look, yeah, that's why I have to be, finesse. I'm sorry, Clint.
You can see him holding his breath. Yeah, no problem. Just, yeah, good wrist control technique. He's like very much leaning over, like he just completely, his wrist is being completely controlled.
Okay, well, what if I went about it this way?
And she just kind of like does a sort of a volleyball spike with her fist like beneath his grip to try to pop it out of his hand.
Okay. Give me a breakthrough roll. Yes, you just hear several pops and snaps as the gun flies out of his hand and his arm flies up. Then once it's like over, it's just loosely dangling next to his body, like on his side. Oh, think paging Dr. Icepeak. I think my shoulder just got dislocated.
Oh, Clint, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. I'll just go ahead. She's training in being a field medic. Just give me one moment. I'll get that pop back in, and we'll go for round 2.
Am I in the room?
No, he's just you just as you're working on medical dummies and stuff. Clint just like he wanders into your work area and with his arm dangling. Hate to bug you.
I think if I were to do a diagnosis, I think you have a dislocated arm and maybe a broken finger.
Yeah, probably. Do you mind popping this back in?
She wraps her eels around one side of his body and then around like his arm and like kind of this may hurt only a moment and then jerks it back into place.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Thanks. He lifts his hand with the one finger bent the wrong way. All right, well, and then he slowly reaches over with his other hand and just slowly pops that back into place.
Would you allow me to splint that for you?
Oh no, I'm fine. His
Would you like-
hand is very red and bruised and puffy.
Allow me to administer pain medication?
Nah, the thing about it is he actually falls forward
Oh!
onto the ground.
No, wait. Can I eels, like, stop him from hitting the ground?
Yeah, we'll say you can catch him at the last moment.
Yeah, and just kind of, like, and then turn him over.
Yeah. He's passed out.
Oh, no!
There's a knock on the door.
Please enter.
Hey, Clint, hey. I speak, oh, is he okay?
I think you may have to train on being gentle.
Oh, that was the oh, man.
She's just gonna start shaking Clint.
Hey, I'm sorry,
No, please do not shake the patient.
oh, right.
And she just sits on her hands and just kneels.
I'll begin, like, looking at his eyes and seeing if he has a concussion or anything.
Give me a multi-surgery roll. He's not concussed. It seems like he's passed out from like a little bit of exhaustion / the sudden pain that he just experienced and possibly being choked out recently. Once or twice.
He has had some lack of oxygen to his brain. You may have to wait a moment as she pauses and looks through. Does she have like an oxygen mask or anything?
Yeah,
Like
we'll say you have one
canister?
on hand. Yeah, like.
Yeah, I take it out of my medical kit and put it on his face.
Okay, give me another multi-surgery roll. Passive difficulty 3. Oof.
I'll spend a fate point for that.
Okay. I guess, what are you invoking?
The eccentric doctor, I guess.
Okay.
Just being a doctor, yeah.
You're an eccentric doctor. This is a patient who's passed out. You're providing oxygen to him. He eventually comes to.
Well,
yep.
While he's unconscious, I will, on his bruised arm, just give him a couple of, like, bites. Because my spit it stops pain. So, just, like, secret little, before he wakes up, stop the pain a little bit.
When you bite, like, do you taste things? Like when you're biting something with your eels?
Yeah, probably a little.
Okay. Clint tastes like metal, but he's not made of metal. Strange. It's almost like a steel kind of flavor, and iron, like heavy in that. His blood is normal. His skin is normal. He's all flesh, but he's got a slight metal flavor, metallic tang.
It seems he has taken many iron supplements.
Oh, well, he does strike me as someone that does eat healthily. Vitamins included.
Oh, there's other things that you can pick. Actually, yeah, give me experiment roll, I suppose.
Oh.
Oof. You can re-roll that if you'd like for a fate point.
Yeah, might as yes,
yeah,
please.
Might as well.
I don't want to hurt this man.
A 3. No, it's not for hurting him. It's for detecting other things. You detect a high amount of adrenaline and testosterone, like way more than a person his age should have. And for a person as calm as he is, there's high amounts in his bloodstream. Also, no, that's about it. Yeah, just high amounts of testosterone and adrenaline. His hormones are very weird. When he wakes up, finally again, he just goes, huh? Oh, passed out again.
Hey, Clint, I was thinking maybe I should leave this sort of thing to Claudia. Maybe I should look for something else to focus on.
No, you're a natural, Orinoco. Look at me. He holds up his bruised arm.
She cringes a little.
Oh, no, Clint. I'm not cut out for this, I don't think.
I don't know. I think we should go a few more rounds, see what happens. I'll be all right. Now that I know what your tactics are, I'll be able to counter them effectively.
Are you sure?
Sure, I'm sure. He holds his thumb up. His thumb up, I guess. He just gives you one, a thumbs up, but like it's with that bruised, like red hand. I guess it's been like drained down a bit. I'm all right.
Why don't I bring Polly over? One of us should get trained in canine, right?
Canine. I guess that's an idea. You think Polly could be used in your tactical team? Seems a little. He looks a little uneasy, unstable.
Well, any attempt to sort of get it, any training will be for the better, right?
Suppose that's true. We'll work on it. I'll have to dig up some manuals. I'm not exactly experienced in canine training, but I have had to work with officers at the academy to make sure that people are, on their toes when it comes to that. Well, yeah. He slowly gets back up off of the ground. All right, Alrighty. Dusts himself off. Still wearing heavily padded armor. Hey, I could also be a dummy for the dog if you need to train like dog attacks like sick 'em and such.
No, I just need to be able to, well, someone should be able to tell him to seek out bodies, drugs, weapons, bombs.
Ah, I gotcha.
We're
He has
plenty
already
attack.
been quite helpful. I do not think he is a usual companion.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of unconventional thing you can do with that in the field. It should be very interesting and educational. But again, if the dog needs to be trained to maul somebody, I will be there.
I don't know about that. I'll be back.
He's like, yeah, as you leave, he's just waiting there and he's kind of like, he looks like a toddler in one of those like snowsuits that are like way too padded and thick. In your presence, I speak. He just slowly turns around. To be honest, I'm starting to think I'm getting a little old for this.
It is possible you have many bruises and your metabolics are off.
What do you mean?
I have simply noticed some anomalies.
He kind of like ponders the thought. You can tell he's trying to stroke his chin, but he can't move his arm all the way up because of the padding.
Oh.
Anomalies, huh? Weird.
I do suggest taking care of yourself.
All right, yeah, I guess it couldn't hurt to go to the doctor every now and again. Knowing that's something my kids would usually be on me about that if I didn't go very often, so I guess I've fallen out of practice. Although, I do see the physician regularly. He didn't say anything was weird. So, yeah, you give Clint the news. He just kind of nods and mentions that he goes to see a doctor. He didn't think anything was weird, but upon your recommendation, he promises that he will see his physician and get a checkup and some tests run.
I would recommend such.
Alrighty, not a problem. Gotta stay in shape. Physical fitness means mental fitness, and mental fitness can mean life or death in the streets. Oh, he reaches over and pulls a piece off of one of the medical training dummies and then tries to get it into his mouth.
I speak doesn't match. She doesn't seem to mind.
I mean, if we want to fast forward, Enya's gonna come back with like lunch for everyone. Just grabbed fast food.
Okay. Of the people that are assembled to eat, it should be Claudia and Counter, and Ice Peak, and Clint. You are missing 2 squad mates. One of them is Mikey, and the other one's Blue.
Oh, they must be deep in training.
Yeah, that's exactly where they are. What did you bring for lunch? Just out of curiosity.
Just like burgers and fries, that kind of sort of thing.
Move him down there as we go to focus on Mikey.
Mikey obviously got a veggie burger.
Mikey, for the past, we'll say, half hour, you've been attempting to snipe this fast-moving target. All the other training dummies in the room are pretty much dead and disassembled. This one is continuing to dance around your shots. You've also like got quite a few pellets on you that have hit you, but none have hit your precious cargo. So it's just paintball rounds. This thing, as you are like going to fight it, is standing on a pile of the other training dummies, kind of like dancing around as if to taunt you. You have the option now to either take a shot or get ready for it to like. It seems like it's about to do something towards you.
Okay. If that's the case, I guess I want to hold out and see what it's going to do, and then if I need to like counter snipe to stop whatever is about to happen.
Okay. It takes out one of those wooden training daggers from like behind its back, and then quickly like whips it at you. Give me a gaze roll against that. Oof, do you want to invoke?
Yeah, I'll invoke.
Okay. What do you invoke?
I will invoke. I'll invoke Know the Enemy. I feel like
Okay.
that's what this is.
So yes, as
This
you're
is what up to.
like speed begins to slow down for you as you're seeing this incoming knife being whipped, and you can tell the trail of movement, and you can even see the direction that the mannequin is about to move into after it throws that knife. Apparently it's a distracting throw, and behind its back you can see that the second shadowy stand mannequin has handed it a second knife. So it looks like it's about to throw another one at you, and was using this first one to as a decoy. With that roll, you can absolutely shoot it down, the first knife. But with the roll being able to see where it's about to go, you can actually launch a counterattack and see if you can hit it.
Yeah, I would rather drop down and take the shot.
Okay. So you drop down and take the shot at it, ignoring the knife.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a slick roll. Good God. So you go to take the counter shot at it, or take the shot at it as it's moving, and then you briefly notice that it has drawn a third knife with its teeth, its mannequin teeth, which are just made of wood, as it like pulls it out of its coat and spins around that shot that you just fired at it, whips the first knife, and then the stand mannequin behind it takes the knife from between his teeth and chucks that at you, making 2 incoming attacks. You now have 2 wooden knives flying at you. Give me another gaze roll. You can see them, but they're moving so fast and they're coming in different directions that your slug eyes are having trouble like focusing on one or the other. Which one is more important? Which one is actually intended to hit you, and which one is actually? They're both like curving too as they fly, so they're not even going in a straight line. Makes it difficult to project which one is intended for you, or if both are. You have one opportunity here to deal with this before the knives hit you, and it seems inevitable that one will. No matter how fast you are, these knives are very quick and they're coming from weird directions. So you have yes, the wanted, but with
They're
knife.
curving.
They're curving. Yeah, it's curving the knives. So you have the opportunity right now to you can either try to finish this, or you can what do you want to do? Basically, you know for certain that one of those knives will hit you.
Yeah, with that knowledge in mind, I think Mikey would definitely take the shot to end it.
Okay. Give me another gaze roll. Or no, not gaze. Understanding. Passive difficulty 3. 1. I mean, you can pass it with a fate point.
I will, and I will use
Okay.
my drive to learn everything I can.
To learn everything you can. The knives are thrown, you notice now, as they're coming towards you. You can get a better look at them, and you can see that if you were to bounce a bullet between them, you could hit the target before it moved, in the direction that it's moving, basically. You cut it off at the pass, but you have to land a shot against a very high difficulty, 2 fast-moving targets that are curving. I will say that roll will allow you to gain an advantage on your next, a boost on your next roll. So go ahead and give me, we'll say for this, another slick roll. Oh, you know what? It's a +3. You have a +3 because you invoked your eye. Did you not? Your eye mode or your eye bloodline?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you gain a +3 from that. Go ahead and give me a slick roll with a +3. So a 4. Oof. If you spend your last fate point.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you spend your what do you invoke for this?
Let's see. I feel like I already used Know the Enemy.
I mean, you can invoke it again.
Yeah, I'll invoke it again because this is a full understanding at this point of like I know exactly what I need to do to drop this. So I'm gonna drop it.
So you fire the bullet along the path that you have like projected that it will like travel. It hits the first knife. The knife ricochets off into another direction, just spins wildly. The bullet kind of impacts, makes splinters, travels in a pretty straight line towards the second knife, like skims it sideways, kind of like instead of going dead on, just kind of like weirdly grazes it. But it's enough so that the knife goes tumbling towards the wall as well, away from you. That bullet hits the wall, ricochets off, and as the stand mannequin is posing at you smugly and putting its hand to its chin and then pointing one finger out at you while like jutting its hips forward, the bullet goes right through the back of its head, and it just freezes there with like posing at you for a moment before just tumbling backwards stiffly. You have successfully taken out this target, which seemed like it was about to give you a monologue about how you were defeated. You have successfully taken it out though, and the puppy. Okay, give me a. Give me another. Give me a surfing roll. Actually, passive difficulty 1. So you should be able to pass it. I hope. Oh my god. The puppy is awake and fussy. That's all.
Yeah, as Mikey lands kind of poorly, he starts like kind of, since he's kind of got this puppy cradled to his chest, he starts kind of rocking it and nursing it. He's like, "Shh, it's okay, Baha. We did it."
Well, yeah. The puppy
And then
is.
he slowly lets the dog out and puts it down on the, I guess now the wet floor.
You have done it. You've taken down the targets, or they were taken down by that insane training dummy, and you have passed day 1 of shooting practice. Day 1, level 1. The acquisition of 1,000 points allows you to move on to the next challenge. But for now, it seems like people are eating lunch. So yeah, I'm guessing you would, now that you've like finished, the lights come back up, the rain stops, everything stops being so dramatic.
Yes.
You still have the puppy though, of course.
Yeah, Mikey will pick the puppy up. He'll probably put the rifle back where it belongs, and then he won't immediately join everybody. He'll go outside first, and if it's not also raining outside, if it's a sunny day, he'll probably just start wringing out his clothes.
Yeah, it's a sunshiny day.
And let the dog run around to not be a wet dog in the house.
As you're standing outside, you see something a little odd. A blonde woman. She looks like she's about in her, we'll say, late 30s. Is standing there staring at you. She's wearing a silvery coat with hot pink lipstick on and kind of a green necklace around her neck that looks like it's made out of various cuts of jade. Her hair is tied up. It's actually smoothed back, kind of like combed pretty pretty well managed. She's just kind of staring at you.
Mikey will do like the like covering up thing. He's probably like only like wrung out like his jacket and like shirt and stuff like that. But hi. Sorry. I was just drying off.
She narrows her eyes at you. You a cop?
I yeah, yes. I work with Clint Westwood. He lives here.
She scoffs. Clint Westwood?
Yes.
Okay. Is this his house?
Yes. May I ask who's asking?
No. She folds her arms.
Okay.
Clint Westwood lives here. She kind of like looks you over. Yeah, you're one of them, I guess.
Yes. I don't.
What is it that you're doing here, officer, with Clint Westwood? If you don't mind me asking.
I mean, we're all officers. He was just he just invited me over.
She narrows her eyes. Tell Clint it's time to retire soon.
Okay. It would help if I gave him a name of who's asking.
No, just tell him I said it.
But I don't know who you are.
I don't have to tell you my name.
Well, I
You
can't
just pass the
tell
message.
him.
Sure you can.
Well, I'm not gonna tell him like I'm the one saying it. I don't think he should retire unless he's ready.
She unfolds her arms and starts rolling them at the shoulder. Look, either tell him I said it, or I'll throw a brick through his window. Which one is it, huh?
Well, don't. Okay, I'll let him know. Don't
She
throw a
points.
brick through his window. What's
She
the
points
point of
towards a nearby loose brick. You see this? You tell him, or that's going through his window. Clint Westwood
that? Okay.
retires soon, or I'll be back, and that brick and that window are going to be besties.
Okay. Uh, okay.
She lifts her like chin and just stares down her nose at you. No funny business, because I'll remember what you look like, and I'll find you. Got it?
Okay.
Jabs a finger
What
at
is
the
this?
air.
What are you...
She's just pointing at you, kind of like just insistently, and then she slowly starts walking backwards. Just tell him the message.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm drying off right now. So
She's
I'm
just
just gonna stand
quieter.
out here.
She's stepping backwards. Cute dog, by the way.
Thank you.
And then she turns around and just starts running.
Just like full run, like
Just full
hard.
running, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Mikey is gonna go and like adhere that brick as best he can, like to whatever he can, like as high up as he's actually gonna climb up and just put it out. Like if he isn't actually pulling the brick out, like he's definitely gonna put it up like where a normal person shouldn't be able to reach it to go throw it.
Glue it into place with some of your glue.
Yeah, he's just gonna excrete some gross slug mucus and fill the brick in and just adhere it.
Good. Take the brick off the street. Now it's no longer a weapon.
I'm doing my duty.
So after drying off and securing the brick inside of the Westwood Compound, which is really just a nice suburban home, Clint and the others are eating lunch with the exception of Blue. I guess, like, do you deliver the message?
Yeah, when Mikey walks in, Clint, do you know a woman, blonde hair, kind of a green gemstone necklace? Looks like she's probably in about her 30s.
I maybe sounds like maybe one of the neighbors. Why?
She said you need to retire.
What?
Yeah,
What do
I
you-
don't know. I was standing outside drying off, and she told me to tell you to retire.
That sounds like a threat.
I mean, yeah, a little bit. She was gonna throw a brick through your window if I didn't tell you. So
What?
I figured I'd. Yeah, I know. I didn't want her to throw a brick through your window.
Why would
Like-
she? He like seems very panicked.
I don't know. I put the brick and I put it back in place.
Oh man, they must be really turning up the heat on me or something. Why would someone just threaten to throw a brick through my window and tell me to retire?
I mean, do you have an HOA here?
Yeah, but you know, I
Oh, well,
I
that-
stay
I
up
mean,
on my
that's your reason.
dues. You think that's what it is? This is
No, I mean, I know very little about HOAs. I never grew up with one, but I do know that they are the worst.
wow, they are really stepping up their enforcement measures. I guess I should mow the lawn at some point. That is so severe. You can tell you have very good gaze, so you don't even need to roll for it. There's a single drop of sweat going down his forehead. He seems nervous about this, but there is like a strange woman who just told him he should retire and threatened to brick his window.
Wow, that's really rather rude of her.
Yeah, like she wouldn't give me a name. Like she tried to threaten me. But she knew I was a cop. So like, what is that?
Boy, I don't know. It's getting mean in these streets. You guys got to be careful. Now they're in my neighborhood. Even the homeowners association's getting violent. Oh boy, might have to move. He just like
Right.
kind of stares in the distance. Well, you know.
If criminal elements have found your home, you might wish to.
Nah, I'll be fine. Just like when I was training with Officer Orinoco here, I can bounce back from just about anything. I'm not in any danger.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine. But you'll let us know, right?
Yeah, of course. Kind of looks around the room and then looks down at his watch. Hey, where's Blue? I figured she'd be out of there by now. It's put her in the escape room. She just should be training down there. Usually takes about a half hour, the average. Hope she's all right.
Oh, Blue does things as Blue sees fit. So it could be she's just taking her time.
Yeah, probably. Oh, geez. Well, I guess that's what training's for, right? Making sure that you know what to do in the right situation at the right time. And if it's dangerous, well, you know, you gotta work under heat. But there's no danger in that panic room, that escape room, or nothing. It's mostly for funsies. Like people come over sometimes, they have a few drinks, they put them in the panic room. I change it up every now and again. Should be perfectly fine.
Huh. Well, maybe she's just having fun with it then.
Uh, quickly flash to Blue. Blue, you are currently in an extremely dangerous, we'll say, knife fight. Yes, fighting for your life. As a figure has like emerged, like his head it's like kind of in the corner of the room, up on a metal strip, supported. There are metal strips kind of whipping around the room, like at you. They've totally diced apart this like many details of this room. All those little things that used those little knickknacks earlier have been shredded, cut in half, torn off the wall. The wall has like lacerations in it. You've been like fighting for your life against this figure, but he's finally emerged. He looks like this. He kind of scoffs at the fact that you're still alive. You have like cuts all over. You know, you're kind of shredded, but you're not wounded. You may have like cuts on your arms, your legs, but this guy has not been able to shred you. Now that you've been able to see him in combat, apparently his body is made up of several folds of a metal foil that he manipulates. It's hard to tell how he's doing it, but he just is he's uncurling himself and lashing out at you. His whole body is like this, almost like he's a mummy made out of metal, and he just unwinds himself. He kind of like floats there staring at you while his head lolls back and forth, suspended by this single metal wire, this long strip of foil. He kind of like lets his head loll around. You're not too bad there, Detective Savoda. I thought I would kill you before you got out of here. I was hoping your friends would find you shredded into bits. Me? I'll tell you my name, but you'll have to agree to fight me 1v1 again. An honorable duel between honorable combatants. Yeah, agree to it. His head like kind of like floats there for a moment. I'll tell you my name then. I am a representative of what makes humanity great. Officer Rahm Stein. Sharper than steel. A drinker of blood and a slayer of vampires. His head just kind of rolls back and forth. I can kill anything at any time. And I'll make sure next time I see you, I'll take you down for good. Because when you fall, then all your friends are next. I'll see you around the station maybe, but we can't fight there. So don't start any trouble. In fact, if anyone asks, just say you fell into a pile of knives or something. Don't make it weird. And he starts retracting towards the vent. I hate weird stuff. Nope. And as before his head goes into the vent, he just says, soft cell forever. And his head slowly flattens out and then it pulls into the vent. You hear a voice from further into the vent, deeper into the vent. By the way, the door was unlocked the whole time. You knew that, right? Yeah, of course you knew that. And then the head slowly just pulls up and away and out through the vent. You met someone who identified himself as a member of Soft Cell, Officer Rahm Stein. He has, now that you're used to like how he's fought or you've been exposed to him, you can see his character sheet. It is under the Soft Cell category. He is their squad striker. It's possible that what he said is absolutely true, though. The door is in fact unlocked. If there was a solution to the room, now that you're there and you notice that the door was unlocked, it's entirely likely the whole room was just full of red herrings. The most straightforward answer was the right one. That's day one of investigation training. I'm assuming you would go meet with the others or try to explain what happened.
Yes, I would.
Do you inform them that you did not fall into a pile of knives, but were actually attacked by a soft cell member? Well, as you guys are gathered to eat lunch, you notice Blue looks like she has been whipped with several blades. Clint, who was eating a sandwich, spits it out. What happened?
Yeah, my knives were fake. What?
To do with this?
What? No, it was just an escape room. How did what? Jeez.
There was a man in the vent. He had kind of like metal limbs, and we got in a knife fight.
Whoa.
He's a part of Soft Cell.
Wow, that's really intense training.
Yeah, tell me about it, Clint.
Clint slams a hand down on his table. There's this for sound effects. You mean they attacked you here in my home? My sanctuary? Even here?
That is what happened.
Well, I didn't plan. First of all, they're not invited to my house. And second of all, how did they even get in? Those vents. I didn't see anyone sneak in. That'd be the only way through the vent, but those are way too small for a person to sneak through. Too thin. Designed them that way myself to make sure that wild animals didn't get in at any point. Yeah, don't want any raccoons in the wall. Now it's just a guy made of knives or something? Or how did this happen? You know what? He just holds up a hand. and then reaches under the table and pulls up a tablet and puts it down on top. And it starts reviewing the footage. There's a camera inside of the escape room. So he just starts reviewing the footage, and he pauses it at the point where it looks like blades are whipping around and you're barely dodging them. Clint just like stares at this in disbelief.
Oh, those guys are like us. Except sharper.
I'm starting to think it's not safe around here anymore. Break through my window. A man made of metallic tape inside of my vents. I'm getting a little nervous here, fellas.
I think you are being targeted specifically.
I suppose, but all of you are being targeted as well.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say this is not normal for us at this point, but
And he just kind of shrugs.
Clint, I hate to say it, but maybe you should distance your association with us for your own safety.
You're saying I should just tuck tail and run away?
Well, we're able to defend ourselves, and I don't really want to get anyone involved in... this is already pretty bad, you see. People apparently know where you live.
I would not give in to their demands, but I do suggest a safe house, at least for the time being.
Oh, that might be the right call, but there's something distressing about all this. I think it's time that I have a personal heart-to-heart conversation with their director.
There's a director for Soft Cell?
There is. Director Elfman. He leans back in his chair and folds his arms. I don't know much about him. It's kind of a mystery, an enigma. All I know is he's supposedly not very stable. Gonna make it a little difficult to negotiate with him, I'm sure.
I would not recommend going alone.
Who else should I take with me? Any of you would be in danger.
You would be in danger.
He wouldn't dare. He looks a little uncertain as he says that.
She just looks at him pointedly.
I mean, you could take Baja.
And he looks down at the puppy.
Oh, he gave it a name.
Well, yeah, I needed somebody to talk to, and he wasn't giving it up.
Fair enough. Baja. That's a fun, fresh name. Sure. You know what? You should look after this dog for a while. I think somehow I can tell you're a little bit attached. And I don't mean that as like a sticky joke, but I guess it kind of is a pun.
No, it's fine. I mean, I guess the only concern would be if how Polly takes to another dog. I guess we'll find out.
Polly is here.
You want to introduce this dog to Polly?
Yeah, they can do the little sniff each other, walk in circles around the yard. Maybe Polly becomes a dodecahedron or something. Who knows? We'll see.
Oh no, Polly's still unstable, I just saw.
Well, don't we roll each day?
Well, I was gonna say maybe the
No,
sweet
Oh.
sweet pupper.
Polly is still unstable.
New dog, I get it.
Enya's just gonna stare at Polly and say, like,
I don't know if there's any training with that thing. Oh well.
Tell you what. Maybe a few you can come with me. I'm going to go visit Director Elfman personally. And if you want to be there, then I suppose you have a right to speak your mind as well. The man really should be talked to. This has gone far enough.
Yeah, of course. I'll go with you, Clint.
I would suggest filing a formal complaint. They are stalking your home.
Your formal complaints really won't do. Director Elfman has the ear of some of the natives here on the island. The big money, the old families. I'm not sure how he got in with them, but he did. On top of that, he seems to be connected to everybody in politics. And I mean everybody. The mayor, the prince even, of Guam.
So this isn't any sort of small player at all.
Yeah, he's definitely a big shot. It's why he's been able to push through and get the budget for these maniacs. That's why
This
everyone's
is
turning a
old
blind
blood?
eye. What's that?
Oh, this is old blood.
In a way, that's the strange thing about him. He only appeared on the island 10 years ago, I would say. So we don't really know where he came from. He has all his credentials lined up, of course. It says that he was part of a military contracting company in the Eastern Europe. Came highly recommended, immediately embedded into the Guam military. Then he got to operate his own separate branch of research and development. Eventually, he started to get into biotechnology, and well, that's where all his stock money is in that sort of thing. It's likely that the soft cell members are kind of reaping the harvest of the research that he's done.
Sounds a little out of my element. I don't know anything about that area of the world or... I really don't know how... Hey, it's worth a try.
You're right. It definitely is.
But, Clint, what's our leverage? Just his appeal to humanity?
Well, yeah, I think with some good old-fashioned heart-to-heart talk, just letting them know that we all care about justice and peace and order here in Guam and in Stella Maris. I think if we just talk to him like a person, he'll probably understand where we're coming from, and we can end these little squabbles and assassination attempts, apparently.
Alright, yeah.
Why wouldn't it be? Who's Dolores? You mean Dora Lee? Didn't mean to delete you. Still in the hospital, but recovering.
I'd like it if we took another person from the station with us.
Oh, yeah? Who's that?
Well, that Joni person seems like she's of a good character from what little we got to see of her.
And she's a bit of a spitfire, but maybe Director Elfman will see that we've got young people working on the force who aren't just, well, souped up RoboCops or whatever, and he'll realize that we need to step it down as far as militarizing our police force goes. I mean, this is ridiculous. He motions to Blue. I mean, if she was a normal, I'm sorry, I don't mean this offensively, but a normal civilian person, you're very normal. I'm sure you're very normal, but if she was not a merman, that is, I mean, she'd be dead. That's death right there.
She still feels pain.
Yes, very true. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply that, anything. He just starts shaking his head. I'm sorry if I implied anything.
You're fine, Clint.
All right. Well, we'll arrange something. Come around and we'll, tomorrow after work, I'll go down there. I'll make sure Joni's there. That'll be interesting. And we'll sort this out with Director Elfman. No problem. He nods confidently. He'll come around. I'm sure he's very reasonable. All the rumors are probably, just that, rumors. I'm sure it will be fine.
I'm looking forward to meeting him. Yeah.
I am also looking forward to meeting him.
Did you mean that to sound kind of like foreboding?
No, of course not.
You sound a little bit foreboding. Guys, I don't want any violence. This got to stop. This cop on cop violence can't keep going on.
Right, that's the point.
To fast forward, the next day afterwards, like flash zoom, the day goes by rather uneventfully. There's a few cases that need to be handled, cold cases, that sort of thing. One of you's called into court to testify. Not a minor shoplifting thing, but it's like nothing. Day's done. Next day, you arrive at a strange kind of building with Clint, driving in a rather modest SUV, a vehicle he likes to use to drive people around in. It's almost like a family SUV, but it's empty and it doesn't have the remnants of like family life. No used containers, no anything. Completely clean on the inside, just like his house. There are no cereals on the seats. None. If you get cereal in his seats, he might be a little upset.
So we all climb into the SUV. Is Joni already in the car?
Yes. Joni is waiting for you once you get in. Oh, goodness. Joni is waiting in the SUV whenever you get in. She seems to just be like looking a little shaken after the offense of involving interrupting the Mafia and the Valentine clan, I believe it was.
Did word get around of this?
The word is only that anybody who knows her would know this, but the word is like somebody who just kept screaming they were a girl detective apparently got involved in a some kind of firefight incident. They don't know. They didn't identify themselves. Whoever they were didn't show any credentials or identification. So it could be anyone. She's just staring out the window, kind of looking away from all of you, very nervously.
Hey, Joni, thanks for coming out with us to, talk to this director Elfman. It means a lot to us.
She points at you while leaning away. I didn't do anything, and anyone that says anything about it, they're all lying about it. So if you hear any rumors, it wasn't me. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Good. Stares at you and slowly tries to relax herself and then looks away very slowly. But then does double take, looks at you again, and then looks back out the window, and then does a triple take and looks at you with her eyes narrowed, and then looks back out the window.
Enya tries to sit up straight and just look like a very inoffensive person.
Yeah, I really do mean that, though.
Yeah. I guess like we can say Claudia stayed home with her kids.
Yeah, or had a case or had to show up. And
after the SUV travels for a while, you arrive outside of what looks like a nightclub with a few cops standing outside like bouncers would. Clint basically parks nearby and approaches this building looking up at it. It's pretty large, but it only has like 2 floors to it. Here it is. A non-stop enforcement cabaret.
Cabaret? Is this a legitimate business?
Of sorts.
It's a pretty odd spot to... What's with all these cops outside?
They're not real cops. He like folds his arms and looks them over. These guys are like big bruiser types, and they look real like dog chewed. Whoever they are, they basically look like hired goons, but they're dressed in like almost rent-a-cop style uniforms on closer inspection.
Oh, mercenaries?
Something like that.
Wow, that really speaks to the funding this guy's got his hands on.
Clint approaches them. All right, guys. I'm here to talk to your boss, Director Elfman. One of them like starts digging into his ear. Did you set an appointment? Clint kind of like, looks away and says, holds up his hands. All right. I didn't set an appointment, but I'm pretty sure once you say that Clint Westwood is here to talk to him, he'll let us in just fine. If you don't believe me, give him a call. The other one just like stops picking his nose for a second. He ate his phone, so I don't know if we can call him.
Well, could you just let him know that we'd like to speak with him? It's pretty pressing.
All right. He sighs. You don't see me again, though. It's been real. And he gives you like kind of like a peace out sign with his fingers, and then walks away. The other guy just gives him a pat on the shoulder. See you on the other side, brother.
Enya looks really unsure.
Hey, is he gonna be okay?
Probably not.
I have a really baseline question here, but life is respected on these premises, right?
No. Not even a little.
They're a union.
No? Union for what?
Well, you do not seem to be treated very well as a henchman.
Excuse me, I'm a personal security advisor and consultant, as well as a contractor. I'm treated just fine.
As you wish.
That other guy, he thumbs backward. He's probably dog meat by now, though. He waits. Then he hears like a small beep sound in his earpiece and presses it. Yeah, all right, you can go in.
Hopefully not at the cost of someone getting hurt.
Wait, one second. He holds up his finger. 1 drink minimum, don't touch the dancers. And he thumbs inside.
Got it.
So within the walls of the nonstop enforcement cabaret, it is, as the name implies, a cabaret where police-themed dancers in costumes mirroring your own uniforms are dancing around on poles with flashing police lights going off everywhere.
That sounds pretty nutty. I guess like they go order drinks real quick.
Okay.
And chug them down. But, you know, Anya's looking around like,
wow, this place is pretty loud.
You have a 1 drink minimum, so you'll have to buy a drink, but it's not that. It's like, yeah, sort of semi-ish pricey, like middle class, kind of leaning towards upper class prices. The bartender is dressed like an old-timey detective with like complete with the trench coat and fedora look. He just shakes you up a thing real quick, says, yeah, on the rocks, see? And pours you all the drinks that you request. There you are, drink up. Yeah.
does he have the moon accent?
No, he has an old-timey gangster accent, but it sounds kind of like the moon accent.
Okay, just making sure.
Hey, Clint, do you think we should ask how we get to him?
Clint's holding his Shirley Temple, and he sips it. I'm sure he'll come down to us once he knows we're here. And me, he thumbs at himself, Clint Westwood, especially. I've got a big name in this town, you know, and you guys are my friends. I just don't think it's right. He should know if I'm here, I mean business. And you're darn right I'm peeved about this, quite frankly. Well, you didn't really ask, though. But I am. Quite peeved.
Enya looks a little on edge because she's never seen Clint need to channel assertiveness. So she's not really sure what to expect. How are the dancers like?
They look like dancers that have been wearing police uniforms. I don't know, like they're, I guess, higher class ish. Just a mix of men and women in uniform, dancing around. One is pretending to arrest a sexy criminal. There's a few like sexy burglars that are like tiptoeing around the stage, picking up the dollar bills that have been thrown to stuff them into money sacks marked with a dollar bill sign. Just things like that. There is one officer walking a person in like a leather harness with a dog head, for example. Like it's that kind of scene a little bit.
seems like they've really fetishized the whole police role in this cabaret.
Mikey in character is not comfortable. Of course, nobody should be comfortable here.
Hopefully they're happy working here.
After a few seconds, like one of the officers in like it's a pretty like they're clearly it's like a muscle bound guy. It's like a Chippendale style like cop almost, just like motions for your group to come over and then aims towards like the stairs.
Enya's gonna get up.
Yeah, as you're walking by, he just kind of bounces his biceps and chews gum.
Is he cute?
Oh yeah, it's a cute boy.
Enya's gonna look a little.
He lowers his sunglasses at you and then gives you a wink. But you can tell this is like part of the routine. Yeah, also you're working.
Yeah, she's just gonna blush and look away immediately.
So you just see him like also try to play it cool, but he just like looks away and gives his his pecs one last bounce. Don't get that man pregnant. It's not that kind of game.
Oh no. Yes, onwards to Mr. Elfman.
Okay. You come to at the top of the stairs, a black door with the nameplate that reads Director Elfman. Clint gives it a knock and waits. Then he gives it another knock. Then he gives it a third knock. Huh. Thought he was here. The door slowly opens after the fourth knock, and it's dark inside, and mist starts to roll out, like a fog almost.
I'm sure he's a really reasonable person, seeing all this up till now.
You know,
Yeah.
I've never really talked to him here. I've never really seen his office before, but I gotta prepare you guys. It could be very weird. He just nods firmly. Also, was anyone else really embarrassed being down there? I don't usually go to those types of places. I don't know how they keep police funding. He just shakes his head. I mean, not that I mind. Those are adults. They're making their money, how they wish. It's just, gosh. Just shakes his head again.
It's a supply and demand, Clint.
What's happening to Guam? If this guy's in charge of the police enforcement here in the city, I feel like things are going to take a turn for the worse. Oh, I shouldn't say that too loud, though. He stares at the door that, just creaked open. Gosh, I feel a menacing aura or something coming from that doorway. It's making me actually very nervous. I can't say why.
And he's gonna put a hand on his shoulder.
Hey, you're not alone, and you're doing this for a righteous cause.
So inside of the room, he nods and then goes inside. He makes sure to step in first before any of you. He doesn't want even announces it. All right, I'm Clint Westwood. I'm coming in. Don't do anything rash. I'm just here to talk. Inside of the room, there is what looks like a man crouched in the remnants of a desk that he is like a metal desk, but it's been torn apart. He's like picking up some of the pieces and sniffing them and tossing them away. He's crouched and he has his back turned to all of you. He's got wild curly red hair. Let's see. This thing over here? No. This thing over here? No. It's gotta be this thing right here. This thing right here. He picks up like a small metal elbow and like stares at it and then starts like just jamming it at his face, like into the cheek. Yes, this thing. This was the problem with the desk. This thing wasn't measured properly at the factory. I saw it myself with my own two eyes. This thing was cut wrong. It was cut in the wrong dimensions. It doesn't fit the overall design that I was intended for this particular model of desk, number MS2564. Gunmetal gray, office desk with chair. This thing, he starts jamming it at his face again. You can actually see he's starting to draw blood. This thing is 1 millimeter off in thickness, and I can tell he's like looks over his shoulder at you, peering with wild eyes, because the desk drawer, the second one on the left, closed just a little bit too quietly. They need to have better manufacturing standards so that this, he starts like jabbing it at his face again, doesn't happen again. Then he springs to his feet. Hello, fishmen. What brings you to the non-stop enforcement cabaret?
Oh, that's a really energetic greeting. We're gonna insist that you not refer to us as fishmen, though.
What would you prefer me to refer to you as? Waterlogged frogs on a log? Future hook meat? Some kind of aquatic scumbug? A gummy worm with blood inside instead of delicious gummy guts?
Merfolk.
Okay. Merfolk. What can I do for you merfolk today?
Well, we understand that you're directly in charge of the soft cell unit.
That is correct. I give them the orders. I give them the technology. I give them a reason to live. And you get some of the best enforcement Guam has ever seen. No need for you merfolk with them on the streets, wouldn't you agree? They're doing a bang-up job. Completely bang-up job!
Yes, it's true. I've seen them in person now. There is a lot of firepower to this soft cell, and they seem to be quite the roster you found. We can agree that we both want what's best for Guam, right?
That's right. I want what's best. Not just for Guam, but this entire blue world of ours. All of humanity. Every single man, woman, and child that exists underneath God's gracious view will know that they are safe in their beds, in their streets, in their offices, between their sheets. They'll all be safe with soft cell on the job in every country. A soft cell in France, a soft cell in Italy, a soft cell in Alaska. He starts marching back and forth around the office, like just throwing his hands out as he's talking, screaming and slapping at the walls, and then bouncing off to walk towards the next one. Soft cell in Guatemala, soft cell in the Congo, soft cell. Sassel! He just starts getting excited and jumping up and down. Sassel!
Enya just patiently listens and waits for him to finish. Does he ever?
No, he just keeps going. He's naming as many countries as he can.
Okay, yeah. She'll hold up a hand.
Director Elfman, yeah, we get you're right, soft cell everywhere is what you would like to have happen. But for now, we just have to focus on Guam. And it appears to us that there's a little bit of interdepartmental disharmony.
Ooh. He like stops when you say that and like puts his hand over his disharmony. Wouldn't want that. What seems to be the problem, do you think?
Well, a little bit of too much force in the most recent mission I believe Soft Cell was just sent out to.
Ah, the Grover National Park debacle. I can't believe how you Aqua clowns goofed that up.
What? We weren't there on duty or anything.
That's right, and you managed to bungle such a good case we could have gotten those dolphin brats off of the street.
They weren't immediately causing any trouble.
Maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow, they're a menace to be sure. And if a few dolphin kids end up in a can of tuna, who's gonna cry about it? Not me. And they don't have mommies and daddies to get sad either. Oh, he starts rubbing his eyes.
It's my understanding that you have a lot of connections here on the island. Upper.
That's right, I do. He marches over to the remnants of his desk and pulls up a folder. You see this? Oh, a lot of rich politicians and businessmen have photos. He just throws it into the air, and the photos begin to spread everywhere. It's just different politicians with the dancers downstairs getting very comfortable. They all come to the non-stop enforcement cabaret to wet their lips. Next thing you know, they're having a little bit too much fun, little hitting the bottle a little too hard. And then there's photographic evidence of it. And not just photos, but movies and recorded audios. And I had a book printed based on the adventures and escapades of one particular congressman. It's extensive.
She'll grab one of the photos out of the air and look at it while he talks, and then set it down gently on a desk.
You see a very large man with very nice curly, one curl of his hair sticking forward. Very large man, gotta be 500 pounds. With two dancers just kind of like sitting on his stomach and like with their arms around him. You recognize that as being, that is the Prince of Guam.
Oh. She's gonna, while he's talking, like, flash it over her shoulder to make sure the team sees that before setting it down on the desk.
Yeah, you have a lot of connections. I'm sure you run a really fine establishment as well.
You could say that Guam has a black and beating heart. And that black and beating heart is I, Director Elfman. Maintainer of peace and liberty on the island of Guam, doing what is necessary to push back against the accursed Dagonite tide. That is my job. He thumbs himself in the chest so hard that it looks like he's bruising himself. What is yours? And then he jabs a finger out at all of you. Cops? I don't think so. Fat laugh, that is.
As a matter of fact, it is also our job to stem the Dagonite influence, any activity. That is also our job.
Well, you're not doing a good enough job at it. Those Dagonites are all over the streets, spreading their filth and their lies, corrupting the minds of the innocent youth, and poisoning the humans wherever they are. It needs to come to an end, and I, Director Elfman, am the #1 champion of humanity, the greatest that's ever been made, the best person to ever come out of a womb. That's me. Some people have compared me to Jesus, but I think that's an insult. I'm better than that. He's my understudy, do you understand? Director Elfman rules and reigns in Guam, and soon the world.
You have many aspirations. That's clear. But in order to deal with the Dagonites, you're gonna need more than just soft cell. You're gonna need the cooperation of others. Why not fellow merfolk that are on your side?
Well, you're right. Soft cell isn't enough. First, we have soft cell classic, and then new soft cell, and then diet soft cell. Those are the really skinny fellas. And then cherry soft cell, and vanilla soft cell, and limited time summer blast soft cell. But you'll notice in all of those many descriptions, of which could be endless, not a single need is there for merfolk like you and your friends. I am saying unequivocally and without any hesitation that I have declared a war on Aqua. I have declared a war on letting mermen run these streets. No, never, never, ever, 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 ever.
Just a hard line, huh?
The hardest line there's ever been.
Does that include any humans that associate with us?
You mean like that? Pencil neck. He points at Clint.
Actually, he has a pretty sturdy neck. I just tried a sleeper hold on him not too long ago.
Clint Westwood. I hate you. I've never told you that, but I hate you so much. I would never go to any of your cheese tasting parties. I got your invitation to that gardening talk that you gave. I said I would go, RSVP, and didn't, so that you wasted the catering slot. I make sure that junk mail always goes to your house particularly. Oh, I loathe you, Westwood. Loathe you! Ah, he starts tearing at his own face.
Enya's gonna, like, push Clint back a little and just kind of give him, like, this worried look. Like, I don't know about this, Clint.
Clint also looks worried. I've never even sent you an invitation, but I don't know what you're talking about, Westwood. You're crazy. You're out of your mind. What are you saying, declaring war on these cops? We're all a police department here. You don't need to go to these lengths. Surely through social reform and political action, you could make the streets a safer place without violence against fellow police officers. Isn't that just breaking the law, really? Director Elfman stops and holds up a hand to catch his breath. I suppose in one way of viewing things, you could see it as breaking the law, certainly. Of course, when you've got all the lawmakers in your pocket, you can say what the law is at any time. So if I were to push legislation that made using lethal measures against all merfolk by law enforcement completely legal, and if it got accepted, then you would be breaking the law, not killing them. So what good is the law anyway? Westwood, and trust me, the legislation is being drafted as we speak. Not only will we be able to get better numbers on all of our cases, but we can clean a little bit of you off of the map. And he looks over at Aqua when he says that. All the dirty little ants crawling around my perfect garden. My picnic being ruined every single day that I see any of you walking around the streets, bulging and pulsating beneath your fake skin suits, pretending to be the people that you prey upon. Oh, even the nice ones, the ones with the pearly white smiles, red their teeth on the flesh of humans. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've lived it! And he tears open his shirt, revealing several bite marks across his body. Look at me! A merman tried to eat me one time, and he failed. Oh, I'm sure I was delicious. I'm sure I was scrumptious. And I'm sure as he ate lead, he thought better of his meal options. How many of you now salivated when you saw that? Oh, he starts to cover himself up. I am no tasty morsel, no snack.
None of us did.
Lies! Everyone was enticed.
I'm sorry to say, but an ignorant view. Many of us don't even eat meat.
Oh, well, in that case, I suppose when you make that point, then I won't engage in war with Aqua anymore. In fact, I've changed my opinion about all merfolk. No longer will there be animosity between our two people, and Soft Cell will stop attacking you at random as directed by me, and told by me, and guided by me, and trained by me, and armed by me, and motivated by me, and tormented by me, and instructed by me, and also kissed on the forehead by me, and tucked into sleep at night by me, and put into a regenerative pod by me, and then reassembled by me, and then disassembled by me, and then measured by me, and then cleaned off by me with a garden hose.
She's gonna cough into a fist.
Don't give me that look. They love it.
Alright, well, we tried to be nice. I don't think this is gonna be very productive.
And she looks to Clint.
Was there anything else that we wanted to say while we were here?
Clint walks forward towards the raving, arm-flailing Director Elfman and slaps him on the face. Sir, that may not have been an official slap. I am not a Mannerette. But regardless, as law enforcement of Guam, I feel it is my duty to tell you, you are over the line. You are rude, you are threatening, and you use language that is not civil. And he holds up a finger as Director Elfman gets slapped and turns back with like his teeth clenched, hissing. But when he turns back, he sees Clint's fingers in his face. Striking me back would be a mistake, Director Elfman. You may be rich. You may have power here in Guam. You may have a lot of directors and politicians in your pocket. What you don't have is a single ounce of integrity. You hold no right to say the things that you've said, to treat these people as you have. They do everything they can, lay their lives on the line to protect both the humans and the merfolk that live on this island. Insulting them like this is unconscionable. I can't believe that you'd even imagine that this would be acceptable. I may not be a high-ranking officer in the Stella Maris Police Department. I'm just a trainer. But if you think I will take this lying down, or if you think I will allow you to harm these officers, these noble members of Aqua, well, sir, you've got another thing coming. And then he raises all his fingers and then backhands Director Elfman, who stumbles away. You'll notice within your files and all your blackmail, there is not a single picture of me, sir. So I welcome you to send your soft cell members to try and bully us, to try and intimidate us out of doing our job. You will find, sir, that as far as history is written, villains like you do not meet good ends. And he adjusts his suit, and he turns to you Aqua people. I'm sorry you had to see that. Please, understand. It isn't right to just slap people, but I got impassioned for the moment, and I will accept whatever punishment is coming my way. But gosh darn it, it's not right. It's just not right. Director Elfman is just holding his face, his reddened face, looks back with like shock. You struck me on my face. You slapped me twice, Westwood. My face. He just starts rubbing his face. Where is it? He starts looking around. And he picks up a mirror, like a piece of a mirror, and just looks into it and starts examining his face. Is it on straight? Do I look all right? And then he starts adjusting his hair, which is firmly attached to his scalp.
You look the same as before.
All right, I'll play your game. Yeah, Westwood. That's your name, isn't it? I know you. I know you all too well, Westwood, 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 Westwood. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, my soft cell will destroy the Aqua unit. You won't know why. You won't know where. You won't know who. You won't know when. You won't know how. You won't know sometimes. Why. You won't know O. You won't know I. You won't know E. You won't know U. Oh, but you'll die. Every single one of you will die. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 1 week for each slap. That's how long you've got to make your end of life plans, write your wills, kiss your dogfish on the cheek, your catfish on the nose, and say goodbye to life entirely. I will shred you. I will burn you. I will take your meaty little bits and put them into a paste, extract that through a tube, and then deep fry it in a battery dough. I will eat it with my friends at the table as we laugh at the Aqua unit. And you know, Clint, it wouldn't be the first time I ate human either. You're on the menu now, too. Oh, that meaty hand will be grilled. It will be seasoned, and it will be devoured. Delicious apple smoked hand meat.
Clint rubs his hand as he kind of steps away. All right, that. No, I don't think this is going too productively. I think he's serious about eating my hand.
I would guarantee he will eat your hand.
Oh, you aqua scum. Oh, you villains. Oh, you sardines. I'm gonna put you on my pizza. I'm gonna fricassee you. I'm gonna blend you. I'm gonna grill you. I'm gonna smoke you. I'm gonna put you in soup. I'm gonna make an aqua stew. And you, he points over at the far corner where there is a scared girl just like leaning against it and far away from him. You. Who are you? Joni like just kind of like looks around. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm gonna go try to find the restroom. Sorry about that. And she just starts just pushing herself against the wall to leave. Skidoo boop doop doop boop boop. Okay now. All right, goodbye. And then she just leaves very quickly.
Enya's muttering under her breath. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
She should know better.
Director Elfman holds up a finger.
The restroom is anywhere you want it to be.
Okay. Well, we had a somewhat helpful exchange. This probably won't be the last time you speak to us, but for now, your message is loud and clear. 2 weeks. We'll see what happens between now and then.
Oh, I'll be speaking to each and every one of you, don't worry, before I eat. Some of that rumored sushi that I've heard about made from merfolk, I'll whisper to it. I'll say, ooh, you look good tonight.
She's gonna gesture for the group to like start getting out of here. Like while he's talking.
I've got a radio show. I've got fans. I've got talent. I can sing. I can dance. I'm a one-man army. A one-man theater.
He's just marching back in his office across like the scraps of his desk, ranting and raving, tearing at his hair.
When they're back outside, Enya's gonna like look a little deflated, so like slump a little in her shoulders.
That didn't go anywhere like I was hoping it would.
Clint just seems kind of just lost for words. He's just standing there, kind of. He just orders an actual drink with alcohol in it. Yeah, yeah, the rum and coke, please. Make it a double. Oh, geez, I can't drink. The one of you can drive. But if you don't mind, I'm gonna. Gosh darn it! I just. The rum and coke arrives. He just like drinks it down real quick. Yeah.
I can drive. The majority of me is not drunk.
Yes, you're all allowed another drink.
Director Elfman, it doesn't seem like he's gonna be talked out of any sort of. Well, he's out of his mind, quite frankly.
I had no idea he was that far gone. I heard rumors, but that man is just 100% psycho. He's completely insane.
I think perhaps he has some sort of brain poisoning.
Yeah, among other things. I mean, did you see those bite marks on him?
Yeah.
Those just look like human teeth. I didn't want to say anything back there, but it just looks like a person was biting him.
It's not much better than a Dagonite. Honestly, it's...
They looked fresh. I think he just got someone to bite him for the theatrics of what he did. That's what I'm saying. I think he did that.
One of the symptoms of cannibalism is emotional instability.
Oh, jeez. Wait, you think he was serious about being a cannibal? I just can't...
I have been eaten 1,333 times.
Oh. I'm sorry, that's horrible.
Suffice it to say, when we first investigated merfolk cannibalism, I am no longer surprised and would take him at his word.
Well, I'm not scared of him. Not one bit. 2 weeks. He slams his drink down. His face is just a little slightly red from the alcohol and / his adrenaline being up. 2 weeks, you're going to be an elite fighting force. I guarantee it. The best Stella Maurice has ever seen. You're going to be really good at kicking his rear end and his soft cell whatevers. Jerks. No, this is really strong. He looks down at the glass. I think I might be a little tipsy.
We really shouldn't have roped you in on this. I'm sorry, Clint.
No, I'm sorry.
We will simply have to protect you for 2 weeks.
Well, I'm gonna do the protecting. I think I've proven that I can take a hit and keep standing, and well, gosh darn it, I'm not too bad with a firearm. If things get violent and no one will back us up, then I'll just have to be a warrior once again. Just really have to step up and take charge. And he like rubs his hand, the one that used to slap Director Elfman. Ah, gosh, that guy's got a hard face.
I feel he may not be fully human. Well, he's cyborg.
Possibly true. I don't know much about his history as far as cybernetic enhancement goes, but he is now an expert in it. I wouldn't surprise me if he did enhance himself in some way.
He is the director of Soft Cell, and they all are quite advanced.
If it comes down to it,
The way I see it, I'll personally take down Director Elfman, even if it means losing my job and possibly going to prison. I'll do it. Another rum and, but this time a single, but another rum and coke. I've got a fire lit in me, and the only thing that's gonna quench it is this rum and coke, but extra coke this time. You know what? Half a shot of rum, but extra coke, extra, and yeah, a decent amount of ice. Make sure it's nice and chilled, but like just a half shot. Kind of like almost makes a pout face as he's like standing there, just clenching and unclenching his fist. Nerve of that guy.
Well, it's like you said. We'll just have to meet them on their own terms and build up the team as best we know how, right?
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Because no one's gonna just come to our aid from out of nowhere. No riders in the sky are gonna back us up when we need it most.
Right, of course. And once we get past this whole soft sell business, all that training will be of better use in the city as well. I only see pluses, really.
She does look a little nervous in her eyebrow. It does like twitch a little.
But,
So, yep.
you know, it is pretty dangerous that he does have so much pull with the politicians. I would like to address that.
Well, the local representative for the trench has been trying to get it recognized as an official borough for quite some time. Maybe you'll be able to talk to them and get some kind of support, but it's an uphill battle.
If you are capable of destroying the blackmail.
It's true, but even the digital copies have probably backed up on a very secure server. Gee, I don't know anybody who could get access to that sort of thing.
I know a fellow. He works in our apartment, our department.
Oh, please tell me you're going to talk to him alone. No offense, he seems nice. And like
Well,
you can see Mikey just kind of like he's already just, I don't want to do it.
I am already in the room with him if you approve of such things.
Just so
I've left an eel there.
That's true.
this really is going to be interdepartmental warfare. This is still within, I mean, Director Elfman is part of the police, so it's what we wanted to do anyway. Yeah, we could start with that.
Well, under normal circumstances, I would say that that's probably a gross violation of our abilities as cops and our responsibilities as law enforcement. And if I'm being honest, it makes me nervous as heck. So nervous I almost said a vulgarity just now. But I didn't. The word it was HELL. I try not to swear too much because I don't think it's in line with what an officer should do. But sometimes I get this rum in me and I start thinking, maybe today's the day, Clint. You just stop caring and you just start swearing.
No, that shows really good restraint on your part, Clint. Integrity, after all.
It's what sets us apart from animals like Director Elfman. Speaking of animals, did anybody else think he looked kind of like a monkey just crouched over the I think that was a desk that just reminded me of a monkey for some reason. Just the weirdest thing. Don't know why.
She thinks back to the Kingfisher kid who reminded her more of a monkey.
Yeah, I guess I could see it. But I don't really believe in name calling, even if he seems to enjoy that himself.
All right, first things first, we'll take care of the blackmail.
Ice Peak nods, and then the eel pops its head out to talk to October about everything we've just learned.
October stops what he's doing, which is updating his website about the Frasier theme song, and listens intently. Good, good, good. I will ensure that we have all of the proper privileges to attain such information, and I will bring it onto a hard drive. Yes. Ooh, soft cell. Ooh, Director Elfman. I have scouted their security long before permission was given, but don't tell. He holds up his fingers to his lips in the dark, but you can't see that.
I will keep such to myself. I do suggest specifically looking for the blackmail on any soft cell members so that we may use it to our own advantage.
Devious. Not the type of work I imagined I'd be doing when I joined this unit. But I will be more than happy to tell you that when it comes to these hateful bigots and murderers, I have no problem, no qualm, taking them down.
For me, it is simple means to end. It may prevent a war if I'm capable of finding these blackmail. Then they have no reason to fight.
For me, this is more than just a matter of war. It's one of revenge. Director Elfman was tied to the disappearance of a friend of mine. Nobody ever believed that this man could have done what he did, but I know he did. Hermit crab. Friendly hermit crab. Liked to do repairs and odd jobs. His name was Williams. Williams was one of the few friends that I had. They found his shell behind the non-stop enforcement Cabaret with butter on it. Believe me, Ice Peak, this has been a long time coming. Williams will see vengeance. He just starts working.
Ice Peak clears her throat as if suddenly coming back to this room. October is happily working on it.
Oh, that's great. That he was ready to go.
He says that there may have been casualties before. I do not recommend we continue talking here under surveillance.
Oh, yeah, we should get going. We'll talk in the car.
She'll chug the rest of her drink and plop it down with a nice tip.
As you go to leave, after you've paid, and I assume Ice Peak is driving, from one of the windows, you just see a face and two hands pressed against it, staring out at you. The closer that you are able to see this figure, the more bloodshot you can see his eyes, the more manic his gaze. Director Elfman is staring at you. The glass begins to break a little because he's pressing his face so hard, and a little bit of blood trickles down through those cracks. Joni is just gone. Joni's just left.
In the car, Enya's gonna fish through her wallet and go,
Hey, do you think we might be able to pull some money together to hire our own mercenary?
She looks around hopefully.
Specify?
I don't think a bunch of cops' salaries are gonna afford anybody. Not anybody good.
Oh, I thought it'd be really cool.
There is one person you can hire pretty cheap.
Is it Harlan?
No.
I guess I'll have to think about it.
His name rhymes with Thriller Del C.
Oh my god.
He's currently flexing and raging with the Bottlenose Boys after they were released. Just raging about how they threatened his boys, his little brothers. There will be retribution. There will be revenge. The Bottlenose Boys are also raging with their tiny little fists. Like they're just smashing juice boxes and kicking over cans compared to the actual raging of Killer LP, who's punching holes in the walls.
Oh no. It's not back at the House of the Rising Sun, is it?
It is.
And he's gonna be so upset.
Sonny, the last scene is that happening, and then Sonny Fortuna walking into the door, like, "Hey, got you at a bad time," and he just walks away. Yeah, there you go. We'll figure out how to handle the next 2 weeks. We're gonna like really flash through these like 2 weeks. I'm not gonna make you guys like do the whole training thing. It's meant to be a montage. Also, I think Clint, I kind of forgot to have him do this, would encourage you to open a case on Director Elfman. It's your choice whether you want that to be a monumental case or what, but it pretty much is a monumental case. I mean...
Oh yeah, no, super.
The politics involved in this are pretty high levels, so...
I mean, I think we definitely should.
We should, and I'd recommend Claudia, as these are her dolphin boys, but I can't volunteer. She's not here, so...
Plus she also did a case recently, I think.
Yeah?
Did you crash?
I did.
The DM crashed.
Oh no! At least it was at the end.
Yeah.
And always will be JoJo that ruins it for everybody. This is the game with the audio demon. The true and final stand we have to defeat.
I can't wait till like an actual audio demon just shows up in the game as like a thing. Yeah.
I don't think he's thought about it.
There should be. I mean, knowing me and you two, there's eventually going to be at least one audio demon.